What's up, everyone? This is DYANAROZAY. Welcome to my channel. What's up, everyone? This is DYANAROZAY. Welcome to my channel. Okay, can you guys hear me? Hello, if you can hear me in the chat, please let me know your city and state, because I'm having just a little bit of technical difficulty on the other side, and I want to make sure that you guys can hear me. Okay, can you guys hear me? Hello, if you can hear me in the chat, please let me know your city and state, because I'm having just a little bit of technical difficulty on the other side, and I want to make sure that you guys can hear me. Okay, can you guys hear me? Hello, if you can hear me in the chat. Okay, I see Mobile, Alabama. Sorry about that. Yes, I went out for a second. If you can hear me now, put a 1 in the chat. Let me make sure that my mic is working, because my mic wasn't operating clearly. Okay, it says can't hear you. Okay, I see Mobile, Alabama. Sorry about that. Yes, I went out for a second. If you can hear me now, put a 1 in the chat. Let me make sure that my Okay, do we have sound now? Out again. Out again. Okay, do we have sound now? Out again. Out again. Okay, guys, I think it should work now. I'm sorry. I am so sorry for this. My computer has been acting up today, and I did not know if I could bring it back up, but I think it's up now. Okay, so if you guys can hear me loud and clear without any echo, put your city and state in the chat now so that I can see. I have Barbara Clark up. I hear a bunch of people say yes. Someone said silent again, out, no sound. So I'm just going to wait for you guys to let me know that you can hear me. Okay, so Lisa said that she can hear me. All right, now I see you. Pensacola, Florida, Antigua. Okay. Thank you guys. Thank y'all for being patient. Columbus, South Carolina, Indianapolis, New Orleans, Chicago, Illinois, North Carolina, New Orleans. My favorite accent is from New Orleans, Delaware, Florida. All right, awesome. Illinois, Georgia, Shreveport, Louisiana, Augusta, Alexandria, Virginia. Perfect. Oh my gosh, what a struggle. I am so sorry. Let's see, it is 16 minutes after, so that was a minute. Okay, guys, we got some things to talk about today. Let me get this camera up now since everything else wasn't working correctly. Let's see. Hold on. Whew. Okay. Boy, we had a time just now. All right, so everybody is up. Here we go. Yes, welcome everybody. Jacksonville, welcome. What's this? Nashville, Tennessee, welcome. Thank you guys so much for being patient and sticking that out because that was crazy. I have 265 of you who are watching and or in the chat. 139 of you have hit the like button. So please hit the like button. Thank you. I know I had a little bit of craziness just now, but I was able to get us back up. We have some things to talk about, okay? I don't know if you saw the thumbnail. Hopefully you saw the thumbnail. Okay, it said background check queen. That is what Simone called herself yesterday. Simone from Ready to Love, her and Rasheed has called off their engagement. She called it off and she had some things to say. And so I wanted to talk to you guys about that. Okay, I wanted to talk to you about Tia Mowry and Cory Hardick. Is that how it's pronounced? I really liked them as a couple. It was really shocking to me when Tia filed for divorce. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. I have Melody Sheree on here because yesterday, y'all, people got out of pocket about some things. Someone that I guess was I don't know what she would have called herself. She said she was a prophet, and she actually Melody talked to her a few times, or I don't know how many times she talked to her. Show she didn't tell us. She just said that there was a prophet who told her for every demon 5 blessings, and not even but what 2.5 weeks ago she came out and said something like for every demon 10 blessings. So a lot of people again lost their minds. So I wanted to know why that is. Why is it that people are uncomfortable with letting Melody pick and choose who she talks to? Like, I don't know. Y'all have to tell me. It's getting kind of crazy in these YouTube streets or social media streets. Who else did we want to talk about today? If you guys did not know, Larsa Pippen, wife of Scottie Pippen or ex-wife of Scottie Pippen, she finally got her settlement and she gets 50% of his retirement fund, which is pretty significant. Right now, she is dating Marcus from Marcus Jordan, whose dad was, of course, Michael Jordan, a longtime nemesis, frenemy of Scottie Pippen, and people had some things to say about that. So I wanted to know what you guys had to say about that as well. Okay. Whew. Okay, so let's get started with our girl. I'm gonna put my little thing back up because I gotta do the join button all over again, you guys. I'm so sorry. So I'm gonna talk and work at the same time. So we're gonna start with Simone first. Y'all remember Simone Ready to Love? I talked about her 2 days ago in a live. I actually did two videos. So we did an initial video where I shared with you guys that Rasheed had went live told his story, said that he was in special education classes all the way up until high school. And then he called himself a narcissist. I know a lot of people were talking about, you don't have a degree. I did. You're right. I don't have a degree, but that man called himself a narcissist on his channel. Okay. And he just went on to say that he's hoping that he could work things out with Simone, but he said that he lives a fake lifestyle. He started taking off his Rolex and his jewelry and all kinds of stuff. And I was kind of curious, after, several of you came up on the panel to say that Simone knew all that because she did a background check on him on their channel where she found out some things, right? And Simone actually admitted to that. She said, I'm the background check queen. She said she is a private detective. She also said that she is a lawyer who deals with finance kind of stuff. And she said that on several occasions, she walked into a courtroom on behalf of Rasheed as his attorney, representing him when he would have credit situations, when creditors would come down on him and say, listen, you owe this money. And she said, in order to go into a courtroom to fight it, you have to pay $10,000 up front, no questions asked. And she said, I was able to get those fees waived for him because she was, that was her man. She loved him. She was doing for him what anybody would do. I am a lawyer. I do finance. Of course, I'm going to help you out if I can. She said she put the man on a budget. She said, I put him on a budget so that he can start paying down his debt and doing what he was supposed to do in life. She said that they had a wedding. She said not had a wedding, that they planned a wedding. The wedding was $30,000, y'all. Or excuse me, I think she said it started at 30,000, and she said that she is cheap. She said, anybody who knows me knows that I'm cheap. I got it down to 17,000. They had a destination wedding where, because of who they were, let's see, that's so-called, okay, because of who they were, how did she put it? That they were able to, get some sponsorships and things. So they worked to get sponsorships, and all they had to pay was $17,000 for their wedding. He was supposed to come with his part. She had a part. And she said that both of their parents actually took money out of their retirement funds for their part. She said that at one time he had said, let's do a destination wedding. She said she was okay with that. And then he was like, now we're going to roll with it. Then she said she ended up finding out that this man had bought another car behind her back for $126,000 because that's his business. He does luxury vehicles. And she said that on the day they were supposed to pay the deposit for the destination wedding, that's when he came to her and said, let's elope. I don't have my part. And she said they had already postponed this wedding twice, basically rescheduled the date. Just hers were helping. Okay. So someone's saying not his parents, just hers were helping to pay. And I heard her just say the word parents. So I was not for sure if she was referring to both of them or not, but either way, it's still dirty as hell to do for him to wait till the day of. She said that this has been kind of a habit of his, because she said they were supposed to go away on her birthday. And he waited until the last minute to say, oh, by the way, we can't go out of town for your birthday. And she was like, if you would have just said something to me, I would have been like, okay, I'll buy the trip, you buy the flights, whatever. Because she said I was willing to work with him. She said she loved him. She still loves him. She was on her channel crying, boo-hooing, saying, I don't know what's going to happen next. She has not given the ring back. She definitely was willing to work with him. So a lot of people who came up on the live the other day said, why wasn't she willing to work with him? She said she did. She said she tried to work with him. And literally, this man was just doing his own thing. He was operating as a single guy, in other words. Because when you are in a partnership, when you're in a relationship, don't wait till the last minute to tell me something. I agree with her. If I said to you that I want to go on a trip for my birthday and you tell me you got me, don't tell me the day before that you don't have me. Tell me a month before. Tell me a week, 2 weeks before. Listen, this came up. But she said she put this man on a plan because that is what she does as a finance lawyer. She put him on a plan. And she said if he would have stuck with it, he would have had his part because he had enough money to take care of it. The problem was he was doing his own thing. And she compared him to a gambler, guys. She said this man just does what he wants to do. And it was like, she said it took her a minute to recognize it, but he has problems similar to a gambler. He thinks that his next big lick or his next lick is going to be the big lick. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, Betty Williams said he deviated from the plan, getting his finances in order. And she said that he was supposed to have been doing this for 1 year. So she trusted him as an adult to do what he needed to do. And he was making her think so. And also he was putting things in other people's name behind her back. Yep. She said that the car he bought for $126,000 came under someone else's credit because his credit wasn't good enough to get it. But in regards to the house being in both his mother's name and his name, she knew about it. Some other things, all the other things that people were talking about, she said she knew about all those things. And that wasn't the problem. She said that she loved him and she was willing to work with him, thinking that they were building together when she found out he wasn't building at all. He wasn't building at all. And hey, she said at the end of it, it broke her heart, but she had to go. And I have to say that when I watched it, I believed her. She said that there was a lot of things about him that she loved and she still loved because, love that doesn't go away just because you walk away from someone. That takes some time. But she said that she loved the way she said that she thought he was a very intelligent man, that he was even now, she said she's back at home at her house. And she said that he's still showing up at her house, mowing the grass and doing all the things he was doing before. So she said that she knows that he loves her, but he clearly, she said that at this point, being that it is a big deal. I mean, being deceptive with your finances is a big deal. 100%. So she said that she should have that ring of praise. Well, I think she may have, child, because one of the things she said when everybody was like, you should give the money, you should give the ring back. She said, I know who he is and I know what he'll do with it if I give him the ring back. So she said she had no intention of giving him the ring back at this moment, that, she's still sitting in a space of what can happen next. And she said, but, push comes to shove, she said she'd hold on to the ring and she would give it to her bonus son so that he could use it for college or whatever, he may need, because she said she knows who he is and she doesn't believe that he's in a space to manage, even given the ring back, that he would use it on something else. So she basically said he was like a gambler, you guys. So I wanted to know what you thought about that. In the comments, okay? And of course, I'm going to drop the link for you as well. Then I want to know what your guys' thoughts were on Tia Mowry and Cory Hardwick. You guys know that they did divorce. It's finalized. Their divorce only took 6 months, but we had heard stories about Cory asking for alimony. He was asking for child support. He was asking for the family home that they lived in together for 14 years, or however many years they lived in it, because they were married for 14. He was asking that be split, that it be sold, and the proceeds from the sale be split. And the judge basically said, no, that it's Tia's house. She gets to keep it. It sounds like she had a pretty solid prenup. So he did not get alimony. He did not get child support. They have to pay all child expenses in half. I wanted to know what you guys think about that. A lot of times, and I'll say that I'm one of them, and that's usually because when a woman isn't working and the man is the sole breadwinner, just sticking her out on the street to, make her work at McDonald's and keep the kids is a crazy thing to do. But I wanted to know what you guys thought about, the man asking for alimony, the man asking for child support, and that the house be split, all of those things. He didn't get it. But the judge he asked for it. He asked for it. And like I said to you guys a couple of days ago, we are seeing a lot of cases where men are asking for money. The men are asking for money from the women. The women are, coming in as a breadwinner. I wanted to know your feelings and thoughts on that. Who else did I have up? I wanted to know what you thought about Larsa Pippen getting half of Scottie Pippen's retirement fund on top of everything else. She got a pretty penny, okay? Everything else, it sounds like it got split down the middle as well. I think they were living in California, and you guys know that the California law is that if you are together for 10 years, it's 50% period. I think that may be the same in Georgia too. You guys can tell me if you believe that to be the same in Georgia, okay? But either way, y'all, that was a lot. That was a lot to take in as well. I wanted to know what y'all thought about it. And is there anybody else that I'm missing? And then, of course, Melody. I wanted to know your thoughts, not so much on what this woman said, but on how fans of the show take Melody's relationships or friendships or whatever they are personally. Like, I don't know if people even give Melody a chance to discuss them. It just becomes you're not a great friend. And I wanted to know what you thought about that. Is that the correct thing to do? Or should you be waiting for Melody to share her opinion on some of these matters before people get, really active in that part? There was a lot going on yesterday on social media. There was a lot going on YouTube, a lot going on IG. I saw some posts that people were making, and I was just like, oh, okay. Is this person no longer a friend of Melody? And when do we, say maybe Melody should be the one to address it before anything else happens? That's the other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about. So let's see. Someone said, poor Simone, 45 years old, wanted a child. She picked the wrong man. That background check should have been done up front, not 2 years later. Yeah, she even said that about herself. She said, where I am in life right now, she said, I'm 45 years old. I want a baby of my own. She said, I'm not as pretty as I used to be. He used some years. Those are all things that women say, right? When we are with a man for way too long and he hasn't done anything that he was supposed to do, you look back at your life like, well, damn, I can't get out there in them streets like I used to. So, I wanted to know what your thoughts were on that. Okay. Yeah, I want us to deep dive into the Simone thing, because Simone was being very, very open and sharing. Like, she sat there and said, I'm in a state of heartbreak. And she even asked, she said, please don't attack him. She said, if you go over to his page, please just, be gentle with him. Let him know that everything is okay, because he is a very sensitive person and that this could go the wrong way. And I actually, by the end of it, I was heartbroken. I'm not going to lie. I'm very sensitive to this type of stuff. So I was heartbroken when I heard her say it like that. And she was like, if you guys want to support me, like, maybe send me some jokes and things like that. But yeah, so I'm reading some of the stuff. Pacino Rules said some fans got overly upset with Brittany and Dr. Chanita. Okay, I didn't hear the Brittany one. I know that Dr. Chanita was like, yo, I'm her real friend, you guys. And so I remember hearing her say that, but I'm just asking because, and the reason why I'm asking you guys is because a lot of people say that when things go really left, people say it's not the millimeters who's doing it. So if it's not the millimeters, then is it the millimeters' responsibility to pull some of these people back and say, yo, this isn't us. I'm not sure who this is. I don't know. I'm asking because I didn't hear, you guys may have, but I didn't hear Melody make any comment about it. I didn't hear her say that she wasn't using this woman for any type of services or advice. And so when it went down the way it went down, I was kind of shocked. I was actually really shocked more than anything that it went so left, because the reason why is because Melody is typically open and saying things like, we may have split ways, or this person I'm still cool with. Like, I've not ever heard her say anything bad, or I shouldn't say anything bad. I haven't heard her, not take up for herself. That's what I meant to say. I've never not heard her take up for herself in her friendships or relationships. If something isn't going well and people get on that live and they start asking her questions, she'll say, you know what it is, guys. Nope, nope. I'm still this way. I'm still that way. So things like turned left, like so quick, my head was spinning. My head was spinning. So I was like, whoa, is everything okay? Like, I didn't know if it was true. I didn't know if it was false, but people were very strong in their opinions. Okay. And I just wanted to know, y'all already know, I've said this before. I will continue to say it. Melody is a young woman, in my opinion. It's 37 years old. For 37 years old, she is smarter than a lot of old women. I hope nobody takes offense to that, but she's smarter than a lot of old women, okay, with how she handles herself and her relationships. So I know that we want to make sure that she's good, but at the same time, should people just wait until you hear things before you go in? That is what I'm asking. Let's see. Greta Lee said Simone and Rasheed broke up from Ready to Love. Okay, you must be answering someone else's question. Okay, so anywho, I didn't give you guys the rules, so let me give y'all the rules, okay? I have Cookie from the Shy, Linda Gamble. Who else is in the chat? Just Cookie for the Shy and Linda Gamble. Okay, so those are my moderators for this afternoon. They are the ones that are highlighted with either blue or purple, however you see them on your screen. They got a wrench behind their name. These ladies are taking time out of their day. They are volunteering to help me have a productive chat. That means that we want to make sure everybody is respectful, no name calling. Don't go after anybody aggressively, please. No racial slurs, no homophobic comments, none of that. It's not necessary. It is the middle of the day, right? Middle of the afternoon. We just want to have a good time over here. That's it. If anything looks like spam or crazy, these ladies are in full control and they will put you on time out or kick you out of my chat, which is totally fine. Okay. I'm okay with that. We've had some good chats. A lot of people have been saying how much they've been enjoying it. So I want to make sure that we keep it that way. What else do I want to say? I have 519 of you who are watching right now. I appreciate all of you who have joined me this afternoon. Please hit the like button. That's it. That's all I ask, is that you hit the like button on your way in. You hit it on the way out. Hit it. Okay. Just make sure that you hit it. You don't even have to hit the like. You can hit the thumbs down button if you like. Whatever you choose, just make sure you touch one of those thumbs so that people know that this is going on. Please be creative with your words in the chat. For sure. Be creative with your words in the chat. Okay. I appreciate it. Let's see what else is going on. And I think that's about it. If y'all want to talk a little bit more. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say about the prophetess, without saying, because it is not my goal or job to speak poorly of this woman at all, because I still don't know, like I said, if Melody has any type of problem with her, first off. But I want to say that everything that she had communicated, this is things that everybody else has been prophesizing, if that's a word, on for months. Like, people have been saying the same exact things. It was just so crazy that how left it turned. So anywho, I'm going to put these links in the chat. Okay. And you guys can come up and talk to me about it. I'm interested in your opinions, and so that we can talk. And what else? And that's it. If you'd like to be a member, members have those little circles around it, like Layla. She said that lady knows nothing about prophecy. They have the little circles around it with the star in the middle. And you can become a member by also hitting the membership button. Let me put this up as a pin. Okay. So again, this woman was introduced to us by way of Melody, right? And so my real question is when is enough enough? Like, do you guys not trust Melody to make her own decisions? That's what I'm asking. Because I know that she's been very open and sharing her friendships, her relationship, her whatever. And so when we see things like this happen, it's the reason why the millimeters may be getting a bad name is what I'm trying to say. Let's see. Dr. Shanita should not have gone live to talk about the name ceremony. She stated she was not to say anything and she ran her mouth. That was foul. So did you see Melody show up on Dr. Shanita's channel before? That's what I'm asking. If she's saying to you, I'm her real friend, I mean, like, because right now it feels like people are kind of intercepting her friendships. I guess that's the best way to say it. It feels like people are kind of getting in the middle of her friendships. So, anywho, I have True Wisdom up here right now. True Wisdom from Mexico. Did I get it right? True Wisdom. Wisdom. What happened to your mic? Now I know I had some mic problems, so I'm okay with that. But I'm not gonna rag on you. But your mic has been out, I think, the last 2 times. So uh-oh, she came down. So let's see what else you guys are saying in the chat. Hit the like button. Thank you, Miss Jones. Miss Jones is my other mod. Thank you, Miss Jones. I appreciate you. Okay, now we have LaDon. LaDon, my funny comedian friend. What?
Hey, beautiful.
You got to turn your TV down or whatever.
Yes, we do. We don't need that. Sorry.
Okay. What's up, child? You got a couple of subjects.
Okay.
Write them down again, or you know?
Nope. Give it to me raw. Give it to me.
Give it to you. Okay. So Simone and Rasheed is our biggest subject right now. Simone came on last night. She went live to say that she knew everything. She knew everything. And her problem wasn't that the man was broke. Her problem wasn't any of those things. Because she said she was willing to work with him. She said, I know how to get him to a place where he would have been financially stable. And she did that. She said she gave him the plan. And if he would have worked it, there would have been no problem. She said the problem for her was that they had postponed that wedding, I believe, twice. And she had already had given an option. Do you want to elope? And he said, no, let's do this wedding thing. So they went about getting sponsors, things like that, to take this wedding to a place that they could afford it, $17,000. He was supposed to have his on a certain date after working toward it for up to a year. And on the day they were supposed to turn in the deposit, he said, I don't have it. So she ended up finding out that he had made a purchase of $126,000. I think that's what she said, $126,000 car. And she said it was only worth $85,000. The blue book value. Okay. And she said that after it was all said and done, she was like, this can never be. So she packed her things, went back to her house. She is still heartbroken. She is still in love with him. He's still in love with her. She said that right now, she doesn't know what her next step is, but she knows that. She said, actually, what she said was, he doesn't have a retirement. He doesn't have a savings or anything. She said, at about 45 years old, I have retirement. And she said that she doesn't want to put herself in a Larsa Pippen situation. She said she's not going to be his Scotty. Basically, he doesn't get to take her money because things will work out later. So that's one. I wanted to know what you felt about. Someone said 126,000. Yes. So his actual business is luxury cars. He rents luxury cars, and he purchased a car for 126,000. Blue book value was 85,000. So he just did it all wrong. And even though he had the money to pay the deposit, he used it for something else, and something that she knew was a problem for him. She said his buying cars is like a gambling addiction.
Nope, I agree with her. She had to let that one go, because she did try. She accepted all that, like she said, and she did a little more than me, because I wouldn't even accepted that. You lied. Started out with a lie. So go on. So that's how I feel about that. I'm going to pray for her to, get herself together, dust this off, and next. And he admitted what's going on. Like, she don't need that. She don't need that.
He has a son. She said that was her bonus son that she loves to pieces. The whole thing was just heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking. And she actually called out. She said, Ayanla, I know there was this whole thing about dating a bus driver. She said, I dated the bus driver. She said, I dated the bus driver. So she said, that don't work either. Okay.
Yeah.
But not that doesn't mean that you're not supposed to. It just means that she did what she was supposed to do in giving him a chance.
Yeah.
And wasted some years. And now she's like, I'm 45. I want a baby of my own. I might not ever get to this. Because I put everything into this one man. Yeah, I'm gonna cry, and I'm married and fine.
Nah, see, she gotta let that go. She can't waste no more time.
Facts.
So what was the next one?
Okay, so the next one is Tia Mowry and Cory Hardwick. Did you keep track of
God.
that? So
can you believe that's what it was? How you doing?
How you doing?
Allegedly, and in my opinion.
No, we're not gonna carry that lie out now. He said that wasn't true. They all said that wasn't true.
Okay.
Now where did you get that from?
Well, on these YouTubes, it was one of these YouTube.
No, he said he did not cheat. He did not cheat.
Not cheat. That he admitted that he was. How you doing?
What?
Yes.
Girl, wait a minute. I'm gonna have to Google.
Hanging out with the cast of Homegoing or that show he on, and he admitted to her that he is how you doing, and she had to let him go so he could live his truth.
That's what she said.
Yesterday, I heard it. Yesterday, Dyana.
Okay. I'm gonna let you have this conversation. I'm gonna table it for myself because I'm gonna have to Google some things.
Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. I gave you a little something, but I think that I'm happy that she didn't have to pay nothing to him because he's a man. He can do it himself. Do it himself. I like the way they both got custody of the kids and
50-50.
Yeah, and that's it. And you help with the schools and the trips or whatever, and we go 50-50, everything across the board. And I like it like that.
You like it like that. Okay. Well, what if it was a woman in that situation? Would you feel the same?
No. Okay. Especially if she has the means, if she's a woman with degrees or a career and all this, why not go 50-50?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I hear you. So I want to say thank you to Eat Well 23 for blessing the channel. She said it was constant lies and financial sabotage that forced Simone to implore some tough love. Okay. My prayers that Rasheed will get the help he needs and peace and love to both of them. Thank you, Eat Well. I appreciate that. Yes, she's just asking that people be kind. And she said that she was not expecting him to tell his story the way he did. She's like, she said that she appreciated it, but she was like, she knew he was going to say something. She was not expecting him to just go bare bones, and that was crazy. So, what do you feel about Larsa Pippen getting 50% of Scottie Pippen's fortune?
No.
Okay.
No. No.
Okay. Why not?
I just because I feel like she went in the wrong way.
Married to him for a long time, 3 kids. I think 2 of them very, very grown.
Yeah, but she still had a motive. She didn't really love him. She went in for that money and to secure the bag, and the baby is a definite bag.
So let me ask you a question: how many years do you need to be married to someone to prove that you really love them, or does that even matter? Okay,
I think the years matter.
Okay, go ahead. Someone said that Larsa should not get a penny more from Scottie. Well, child, penny more. She doesn't need a penny more. She's getting half of everything, half the house. I do believe that he was already paying a temporary spousal and child support, and now she gets half of his retirement, the hard-earned cash he earned when he was a bull. Okay. So yeah, she ain't got to worry about nothing else. She is free living her life. How much older is she than Marcus Houston? Is it 16, 20 years? She's getting some young peen, and she's enjoying herself. And let's see, Larsa, oops, I'm sorry, you guys. Please hit, okay. As for Pippen, the judge has spoken. Okay, so some people are saying he gets what he gets. Someone said, I wonder if Larsa Pippen used to babysit Marcus. Listen, that question was asked of her. She didn't like it, but people were like, when you were Scottie Pippen's wife, you were going out with Michael Jordan and his wife. So isn't it weird that you would be dating their son now? And the last question, LaDon, I'm assuming that's what you want to really talk about. So my question is, if Melody is introducing people as her friend, if she's saying, because she brought her onto her page or whatever, she's introducing people as her friend and she hasn't said they're no longer my friend, how involved how involved should the millimeters get into breaking down these friendships is my question.
I think they're going too far sometimes, because then they start adding conspiracy theories and they start adding a little too much on it.
And I just want to preface this by saying I didn't hear her say one way or the other. I just know it was out there, and then it quickly turned into something
I just think that, she's the one that actually has these relationships with these people. And we're not there to see how they really interact with each other or whatever. So she say they're her friend until she's saying otherwise.
Let me say this. Layla said that she didn't say the lady was her friend. You're right. She didn't say anything like that. She brought her on and said this was someone she was consulting with, if I'm correct?
Right.
Okay, this is someone that...
Yeah, well, that was I think...
Did you bring her on more than once?
I think no. I thought I only seen her once.
You saw her once, okay.
I did. But my thing is this. Even if Mel brought her on there, now that the woman put herself out there, I think that's where she's going to get, the picking apart.
So Layla, I apologize. Let me change this up, because what I want to say is we didn't have to know about her at all. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have to know this woman existed at all. Melody could have kept her demon 5 blessings to herself. Right?
Well, she brought her before the 5 blessings. She brought her on the show at that retreat thing when they was kind of come together. When
she was on the show,
I seen her on the show. Yeah, remember she was the one like the Mother Earth lady that was. Oh my God! It was Tisha, Kimmy. That's when Tisha and them had that walk or something like that. I think it was that season. During that time, I thought she was the one, like I said, the Mother Earth lady type of thing, good energy type of thing.
Okay, you're talking about something else. That I forgot her name, but that's not the lady.
That's not her.
Not the same lady.
Oh, okay. All right then.
It was that. So that young lady was. She wanted Melody to be in a play.
Right. Yes. Okay. So that's not the one.
Same lady. No, this one was not on television. This is just someone that Melody kind of introduced, saying, "Oh, this person said this to me." She put it in her comments, and then she showed one of those flower boxes that had the eye in it, and she said that it came from her. And then
I just think they going too far. I think I don't. If Melody don't really bring her up too much, then I'm just gonna leave that one. But if this woman comes out saying something negative about Mel, I would defend Mel.
You would defend
But I would defend Mel if she came out and said something negative. Are they perceiving her to be saying something negative? I believe she's not what she says she is.
Okay, her name is Ima, the one you're talking about. Her name is Ima. She was a shaman, I believe. So they're not the same person. So do you think that Melody has a right to say something first?
If it's affected her, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
That's her life. It's her life. How are we going to be more mad than she is? You know what I mean? Like, that's just crazy. Let that woman, how we gonna be more madder than she is? No, if it's not bothering her, then because the lady's really not saying nothing we don't already know. You know what I mean? We know about all of the different dynamics, the relationships. We already know about the cheating, allegedly, and in my opinion, what Marcel and teach that they don't want to keep a secret that will good in them. We already know all that stuff. So she wasn't really being a psychic or said something that we really didn't know. Let's just keep it real. But I think it's just the, a lot of not just the millimeters. It can be the banks, the what Wanda and them call their people that be trolling. They could be them saying stuff and acting like the millimeters.
I'm gonna ask this question, but I don't want to take a too far of a deep dive because I did not see this. But someone says the lady knows nothing and that she was attacking content creators. Weren't content creators also attacking her? Didn't that help start?
Yeah,
because I remember it started with the content creators.
Absolutely, Dyana.
With the content creators, you guys. There would be no reason.
Listen, I was on Q because I'm a cutie crew too, as well as a subscriber to you. Okay. You two ladies, I really stick with because you run your shit. You don't allow some of the people like me or other people run your channel. Mm-hmm. You set your tone, your rules, and we respect you enough to respect that. There are some people that allow some of the people like me to get in their head and it's their page and they actually be like, oh, really? Yup. Oh, and then they get on this bandwagon and it's just ridiculous. So I like churn off on those. I don't even watch the whole thing because it's like, y'all are crazy. Like, Mel didn't say one thing. Mel is good. And once again, I trust her. She know how to pick who she wants in her life and her relationship she wants to have. Mm-hmm. As long as they ain't dogging her and coming at her, I'm good.
Okay.
Some people just drop off for nothing. They grow apart.
Okay. Well, I'm asking. I don't see anybody else who want to come up and talk about it. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. Hopefully you guys see it there. If you don't see it there, hold on. Let me repin it. Someone's saying that they don't see it. But I agree with you. I said the same thing. I said, well, I didn't even hear Melody say anything. So I was curious as to where the cue came from. That way, people could be more aware. Maybe that's what I'm looking for. Where did the cue come from when we have these type of situations? Because sometimes people leave feeling just like, what did I do? Where did it come from? I know when I was watching it, I was thinking, well, damn, I didn't get it. I didn't know when all of this happened. It felt so weird, you guys.
It was because, like you said, we was just celebrating her name change and then this.
Yeah, we were celebrating her name change. Okay, so I'm repinning this message. 661 of you are watching, 400 likes. I appreciate all the likes, but if the ones who didn't could please hit that like button, please and thank you. Okay, please and thank you. And then I'd love it if some more of you could come up and talk as well. This is a good topic. I really like to get in a little bit more into Simone and all of the people who had so much to say in my comments yesterday. It was so wild that I had to turn the comments off. That's why I said I wanted to get up here and just have a discussion because it's
Dyana.
Yes.
Sorry. Do you know some women were actually blaming her, Simone? They was like, well, she seen the red flags. Like basically she got what she deserved. Like, oh, I was just like,
yeah, you know what? This is what the other thing I wanted to say. Sometimes we can be so hard on ourselves. We can be so hard on ourselves about who we love and all that stuff. And y'all know that how you love, who you love, how you come to God, those are all personal journeys. And the person who's walking the walk got to figure it out for themselves. You can't tell anybody that they're right or wrong in doing it. We need to show just a little more compassion around that part.
Right.
Not you get what you get, because that, I mean, you know what I'm saying? You don't know what you're going to come into in this lifetime. Seriously, you don't know what you're going to come into. But when someone falls in love with someone, I don't know if you can help it. It's a chemical that goes off in the brain that says you're supposed to be with this person. And you got to fight that chemical in order to get there. Okay, let's see. True Wisdom came back up. What's up, True Wisdom?
Okay, is this better now?
You are awesome, girl. Okay, talk to me. And anybody else who want to come up, please hit the link and come up. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so good afternoon, ladies, Diana, and the ladies up here and chat.
Yep.
So remember, I came up the other day. I was talking about the Simone situation, and I would just want to add a couple of things to what I had said. And this is what I was saying that day, that Simone saw the red flags. I'm not blaming her at all, so that's not where I'm going. She did see the red flags, and she was. I think this is a real love story with Simone and Rasheed. I think that Rasheed just has a serious problem, and you can tell she's still in love with him because she's saying her words were not even attacking him. There were more attacks in the chat against Rasheed than the person who was in the relationship with Rasheed. And that's the only thing I am a little disheartened about is our people, our women. Because they were telling her, oh, you dodged a bullet, leave that loser, this and the next, right? And clearly this woman loves him. He loves her. He's still doing little things for her and all that.
And Simone, also, Simone is smart. She's not a dumb woman.
Not
like
at all.
You could tell when she was talking, she was like, listen, I knew he was in special education classes. I went out of my way to handle how I spoke to him to make sure I didn't trigger certain things. Like that was deep when she said that. I was like, okay. When Rasheed speaks, by the way, I just want to say this, despite whatever his childhood education was, that man is intelligent.
Yes.
Okay.
And you would want a good hustler, I don't know why people put this bad name behind a hustler. I would want a good hustler behind, somebody who's going to make ends meet. She said he was a provider. He was a protector. That's why I said, I wish it could have been worked out. I wish, and I don't even get from her that she's done. I get that she's on a pause trying to get him to fix this situation or heal himself or get the counseling or whatever he needs to do. Because that's what I was bringing to the people on the chat when I came on the other day. Do you want a Martell? Do you want a Stevie J? Or do you want a Rasheed? Who possibly, I know we don't want none, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's kind of the lesser of two evils, right? So can he get the help? Can he get the counseling?
Yeah, but he could get the help. He can get the counseling, but I don't think she should stop her life because of it. I feel like I was with my husband for 20-something years before he passed. You put in time with people, but I don't think he put in enough time. I think the relationship, yes, she loves him and all that, because she fell in love with the potential and what it could have been. But I think it's very short. It's only a couple years. She wants kids and wants to do whatever. I don't think she should sit around and wait for him to do his therapy. Yes, he still needs to do that so he can be good for the next woman that enters his life. But I think he started off with this lie and the manipulation from the gate, and she still tried to work with him. Everybody ain't for everybody. And I think she just needs to move on. Let him get the help that he needs.
I just see it a little different.
I get it. I respect that, and I do too.
And that's because I love love. I love marriage. I'll be married
23 years.
Yeah, 30 years. August for me. We got married.
Mine's passed away. That's the only reason why. So I get it. I love love too.
You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Is he so bad that you throw him all away?
I don't like unhealthy love. I don't like.
You know what? True wisdom. She didn't say that she was throwing him all away. She said she didn't know what her next step was.
Exactly. But the chat was going, throw him away, dodge the bullet. He's a loser. He's dead. Because you had a lot of miserable.
I don't feel like he's a loser, but he's a liar.
They got no man. They can't find no man.
And I agree with Greg.
And what about people that got a piece of man, but that man ain't crap? Just because you got somebody beside you don't mean that he's just all great.
And you are 100% right. But guess what? If the man broke and can't manage a nickel, right? But he has never cheated on me. He treats me good. He does all these other things. Let me help you learn how to hustle, real hustle. Let me help you learn how to really manage money. Let me get you in some counseling for your HD, whatever the hell he has.
Maybe if he didn't start off with a lie, I get it. I would want to put that into
I
him.
think he thinks I don't think he thinks he's good enough for Simone. So when you have to put on this facade, and we all did at some point in our lifetime, right? So I don't think he thinks he got a lawyer, she's pretty and all this stuff. So I think he was just doing too much, trying to, put on this front because he got a Simone. And then she even admitted that maybe some of that was her fault by putting so many pressures on him. She said that. I'm not saying that. Because sometimes we do. I remember when my husband and I celebrated our 25th anniversary, we spent $50K on a mansion. I invited about 100 guests to renew our vows. And my husband was just letting me go along, spending all kind of money, whatever makes me happy kind of thing, right? But now that I look back at that and I say, 100 people of people I can't even stand today. And I wish I had that same $50K back because all these people I don't even speak to. You know what I'm saying? So we kind of do all this stuff just to make our partners or whoever happy. And I think that's where he probably went wrong and probably.
No, he bought himself the car. He didn't put the money into the wedding to make Simone happy. He was being selfish and bought himself luxury cars. No. He was being selfish.
Saying that lifestyle that they have.
No, that he wanted.
Ladies, hold on 1 second. So the first thing I want to say is Live, Laugh, Love said something that was actually really smart. She said the deal breaker, your deal breaker isn't the same for everyone. Okay. So that was the first one. The second thing I wanted to say is I know a lot of people are using the term struggle love. That's a big term that has come up, I think, within the last, 2 something years. The one thing I want to say about Simone, and this is why I'm glad she came out and did her live last night, is if Simone would have left that man when she found out everything, everybody would have been calling her a gold digger and a you-know-what. They would have found every name to call her. The fact of the matter is, she knew she was in love with him. She knew she was in love with him. They both shared some common goals. Like once they left the TV show, I think that was 3 years ago. I'm going to mute you.
Yes, please.
Okay. And then, so anyways, she was in love with him and they had some common goals. They went into business together with their YouTube channel. They were doing events and stuff together, wherever. They became a social media couple and they were able to go out and do things like that. She was able to get sponsorships because of who they were as a couple coming off of Ready to Love. The thing is, he was deceptive, period. He was deceptive. If they sat down and she said, I'm willing to work with you. Not only am I willing to work with you, but she said she showed up into courtrooms when he didn't show up. She was like, I got it. 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, whatever the time is, I'm going to go down because you and I are together. This was before he even put a ring on it. You and I are together and I'm going to show up in this courtroom for you. I'm going to make sure they waive this $10,000 fee. We're going to let them know that we're going to work to get these bills paid down so that you and I can build a life together, not just a wedding, a life together. And then you think that you got this man on a plan. You say, hey, if you follow this, not only will you have all these debts pay off, but you're going to have enough money to pay this wedding. And then we can take it to the next level. Because like she said, when they got together, she was 42 years old, 41 years old. Now she's 45. Her eggs may not be what they were. She might not even thought ahead to put eggs in the freezer at a IVF clinic. But she's like, I'm not as pretty as I used to be. I'm not even willing to do this heartbreak shit again at 45. Now you have a whole lot to think about, including, do I just throw it all away and get back together with him? So that's the thing that we want to talk about. Like, those are real conversations that women have to think about every time they get with a man. The one thing that people forget is that a man can have a baby until the day he dies. 100 years old, he can still have a baby. We got a little bit of time. We got a window to have a baby. And so our season isn't what a man's season is. Okay. So when he gets his stuff together, he can be in his 70s, 80s, and still make some young woman happy. We get in our 70s and 80s. It ain't like we can find a young 30-something-year-old who's willing to be with us and spend the rest of his life not having children or whatever the case may be. That's the difference. Am I right?
Yeah, you are absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that True Wisdom. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
No, I was saying it's the other way around. I think Simone is 40. He's 45. I think, yeah. That's the age.
Okay.
She's 40 and he's 45.
Okay.
But what I think that she did not recognize was it was an addiction. I don't think this is just, I like nice things, because look, I like nice things, but this is an addiction. This is a problem he has because he did it before in past relationships. And if you did not fix that situation from the past, you're going to bring it into your present and future. So I think that's where they need to get to the root of that. Why? Because sometimes when we're raised differently, or somebody like, let's just just not to divert the conversation, but like a Marlo. I think Marlo compensates for how she was raised and brought up being in foster care. So she goes out and buys all the luxury and the this and the that, because she's looking for, acceptance and all these, and love and all these different things. So I don't know if that's what Rasheed is doing, or if it's coming from that type of place. But all I was saying was, I just think if it's something that if it's a salvage of something that can save it, try and save it. If she's done, I support her 100%. But if she sees there is hope, if she sees that she can, they can get the help and the counseling and whatever, support her in that as well. Not us women just, oh yeah, throw him away. He's a no good. He's a this, he's a that. If she's not saying that, that's what I was more disappointed in with us as women. We don't want to see nobody happy. We don't want to see nobody in a relationship. We don't want to see nobody doing better than us. It's a crab mentality all around, and that's all I'm saying.
Well, that's not my stance. My stance is unhealthy, waiting around. She don't owe him that. She didn't break him, and they don't know each other long enough for her to feel obligated.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to say. So Zen Garden said, ladies never settle. What you accept is what you will continue to get, all in the name of love. Okay. Let's see. Riley said, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Child, the amount of labor women are expected to produce is astonishing. Good luck to her. And that is true. That is why I said, so if you know that you are a woman who has a certain amount of time to have a baby of your own with your genetic code, how long do you stick it out? Like, these are real questions too, because he may not be thinking about it the same way. You know what I'm saying? He already has a son. She thinks she's building with a man that she can trust, and she finds out that she can't. That is, and she might not even be in that place of thinking right now. You know what I'm saying? Right now, it could still be really, this is what happened to me. I don't know if I'm going to get back together with him, but 2 years from now, if they didn't go anywhere, she could be like, I'm 47 years old. I can't use my eggs for a child. I can't that is something else. That's going to take you into a whole nother place of hate. Honestly.
Yeah, I agree. What was the other topic you talked about, Dyana?
Sure. The other topic was Tia Mowry and Cory Hardwick.
Yeah. I agree with the sister. Sorry, what was your name?
LaDawn.
Yeah, she's absolutely right. He was on the other side. So you get what you get. She was like, free your mind and the rest will follow.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what was happening with that. So no, he don't deserve nothing. Okay. You deserve, you wanted the other side, go explore that other side and do you. Be free.
Okay.
Next.
Okay. What do you
And the other one with no, I agree with LaDawn again. She got it, but I don't think she deserves getting half.
And that would be Larsa Pippen and Scottie Pippen.
Yes, and that's what happens when these men go on the other side. That's how it always turns out. So.
Okay, and then the last one was we saw a situation where people are saying this person wasn't a friend, so let's call it an acquaintanceship. Melody had an acquaintanceship with someone. She has an acquaintanceship with many people, right? Including the millimeters. There's a lot of people that she might have an acquaintanceship with, and not necessarily consider a friend. However, we saw this woman make a post, and then we saw some millimeters get upset about the post. I'm not sure because I didn't see it, but if someone has seen it, please put it in the chat, or you can discuss it on the panel. That Melody shared that this person was doing wrong by her, or whatever the case may be, and people took it personally for Melody.
Is it Dr. Shanita? Because I saw that.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't see the other one, but I thought you were talking about Dr. Shanita. But can you guys fill me in on LaDawn? Did you see the other one?
So
I didn't see that one on Dyana.
Dr. Shanita too. So specifically, what happened with Dr. Shanita? Was it just her coming live to talk about the?
Yeah, because all she did is talk. To me personally, let me tell you, Mel is smart. I love Mel. Mel reminds me of me. So I love Mel because I personally think I have a good friend, and I don't want to put nothing out there or say too much. I'm going to tell my friend, so my friend go out and say it. That's how I looked at Dr. Shanita coming on there, getting an approval from Mel to say, okay, I'm going to go live. Can I say this? Can I say that? And then my opinion, Mel say, okay, yeah, you can say this, you can say that. Don't say this, don't say that. I thought that was like a real good friend coming on saying what she saw and what Mel did and all of that. So I didn't see anything wrong with that. That's why I'm shocked by what you guys are saying with that. But I will comment on the prophetess thing. Can I speak on that? Is that one of your topics with the prophetess thing?
Yes, but I'm not here to bash the prophetess because she was very sensitive about some things that went down. So I don't want to bash her. And I actually turned off my comments. I'm saying is that because people were very upset, what I'm saying is, does Melody get an opportunity to share her feelings prior to the millimeters sharing their feelings about her acquaintanceships or friendship or whatever they happen to be, because she's been so open about everything else. Sometimes I feel like people jump in and they make certain changes or say things that we don't always hear, because literally this is my feeling. I only gave like a summary of some things that I heard in my video yesterday, but what she said was no different than what people have been saying about a lot of the cast members. People are looking for their own show or spinoff. Martell is, dating all three women, maybe not just one, like some of those things. She did say some new stuff too, but people were heated. So let's say this first. True wisdom. What were you heated about if you found the conversation heated? Let's start with that. If you found the conversation offensive or what she said offensive, what did you find offensive?
And you're talking to prophetess. I just want to make sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Without bashing anything or anything.
Correct.
I'm going to be honest, and I'm not bashing her or anything, but I just am one of those people who believe if God has something to say, he'll say it to me. I don't necessarily, I don't believe God has to go tell somebody to tell me something. It kind of goes borderline, almost like, I know people do the prophetess thing, but it almost like this almost sidekick type thing. And I just don't get into that kind of thing.
So let me ask this question first of the chat. I'm going to ask the chat because I know you guys are being shy about having this conversation. And I understand why, because there's people you're afraid that's going to get upset with you. And it's unfortunate.
Well,
I think that there's so many people that railroad people. But I'm going to ask this question first. How many people have used a psychic or gone to a psychic? If you have, put a 1 in the chat.
I don't believe in, psychics, but I believe that there are prophets, but I don't believe just anybody's a prophet just because they say it. So my thing is, if I meet somebody online, that's like this, my friend's friend met this guy who said he worked under the ocean. welding pipes under the ocean and submarines or whatever, and he want her to open up an account so she can, his next paycheck's gonna be $200 and something thousand and all this crap. And she's like, oh, he trusts me. And I said, well, he don't know you, so why don't he trust you that much? You know what I mean? With that much money. So my thing is, even with churches that's online, just because somebody sounds good and look good while they're saying it, don't mean that they're really worshiping God or.
So let's say this. So I got a bunch of people who put ones in the chat. Now I appreciate you guys for putting ones in the chat. I'm not going to put your name.
I'm just saying she didn't show me anything that like she didn't show me everything she said we already knew.
Okay.
Correct.
So my next question.
And Dyana just said, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Hold on. Let me ask this question of the chat. So chat, for those of you who put ones, have you had any, like, has anyone said anything to you that was that a psychic may have said that was true, that you thought was true? And I'll tell you that
I went to a psychic and it didn't come true.
And it did not come true?
Oh, no, years ago I went. Oh, God, years and years ago I went, and it did not. Nothing.
I have gone to a psychic before, and it has come true. Literally every single solitary syllable spoken came true, and it was wild. In the same way, we all saw, most of you may have seen, like Real Housewives of Atlanta, when the guy shook the shells and he was like, I'm going to throw my bones, and he told Candy that you're going to get married again, or that you're going to get married, not even again, you're going to get married, and the person you're going to marry is already with you. He goes with you everywhere. Remember that? And then she talked to Todd that night, and then they ended up getting married. But now I'm looking for people who actually received, I see some yes ma'ams. I should have told y'all to put a one.
Can I say something just real quick? Not to get too biblical. I don't want to go there because I know not everybody is there. But you have to also understand there is good and evil. Everybody knows that. There is God. They call him Satan, Lucifer, whoever, right? He was given power and dominion over this world. He even tried to tempt Christ, saying, you see all this? I got this, I got that, I can give you this, you bow down, worship me, blah, blah, blah. He is the ruler of this world. Principalities, the Bible talks about that. Principalities, evil, wickedness, all of that stuff, right? You got to be very careful.
Didn't the Bible also say that there were people who would tell fortunes and profit, correct?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, but you don't
But you don't. Go ahead.
Believe any of things.
Yeah, my point, what I was just making, sorry, Dyana, not to cut you off, I was just making a point to say I'm home in my house. Boy, I would love a car. I want a BMW. I want a 7 Series. Oh, I would love a car. And boy, I want this car. And then you go out and the psychics say, I see a BMW, a 7 Series. You want to know, how does he know that? Whoa, this is deep. You know, why? Because you have principalities in the air. Okay? That's real. Okay? Whatever you speak out of your mouth, Satan hears too. Okay. And he has demons.
This is what I'm going to say to you, Truism. Okay, so I'm gonna stop you. So my first psychic, the first person I ever went to, and it wasn't even that I was thinking about it. I had gotten into a car accident that day. Okay. And I don't even know how long I had the car, but either way, I got into a car accident, and my girlfriend said, a friend of mine, she was like, let's go see a psychic. And I had never done it. I was actually scared out of my mind. As soon as I walk in the house, the lady says to me, you were in a car accident. And I literally look at her like, what the, how do I even know? Like, we pull up to her house. She was an older woman. She was probably like in her 70s. She told us to sit down. She closed her eyes. She said, you were in a car accident. I never said I was in a car accident. She said, don't worry. You're going to get all of your money. She said, it's going to be a minute, but you're going to get all of your money. She was right. This person pretended like literally took my insurance company through the ringer, but I ended up getting all of my money in my car repaired. She said, there's someone in your family who's sick and they are going to pass away, blah, blah, blah. She said, This is, I mean, she was telling me everything. And to the point where I was experiencing things and I got scared. Like I didn't want to do it. I was like, I hate that I ever went to this person. This is how crazy it got. I remember like talking about it at my job one day, like, you know, water cooler conversation. I was talking to my boss and I said, it was the worst decision I ever made because it sits in my head and I'm constantly, you know, concerned about whether this is going to happen to me because of it. And I remember a coworker of mine said, could you give me her number? Because I would like to talk to her about my daughters. And I said to her, I wouldn't do it to my worst enemy because I don't want you to walk around thinking about what could possibly happen to your children because of it. So I remember that. Okay. Now that happened. When did that happen? That was years ago. That was years ago. And everything that she said came to pass. Okay. Then I went to Cuba. And they have, and I forgot the name of it, forgive me. There is people there that call themselves seers. I think that's the translation. And he did the same thing. He spoke over me. He told me some things about what was going to happen. He said to me, listen, I don't even want to say it out loud. But he was like, you got to watch out for someone that you know. She's a friend of yours. It got pretty deep. And then he said some things about my house. So I had, I moved like 2 or 3 years ago, but I owned a house in another state. And I thought I was going to live in that house forever. And I remember saying to him, when he was telling me all this stuff, I was like, no, but that's not my house. And he just kept saying it. He kept going further into the conversation. I said, that's not my house though. And then I stopped and I said, am I going to stay in the house that I'm living in now? And he said, no. No, he didn't say no. He said, I didn't say that. He said, I didn't say that. Okay. And I remember leaving thinking, he's full of crap. This house is almost paid off. I'm not going any damn where. Like I remember saying that. Okay. And literally, if 2 years later, it felt like I was being moved by a train. Like I remember going to the city, literally sitting in a car saying, I'm moving here, calling my husband saying, go get moving boxes now. When I get home, I'm packing. I'm giving myself to October to find my place to stay. And everything came together like a puzzle. It was so wild. It was so wild, but that was my experience. So I'm just saying to you, not everybody has the same experience. And I understand that this is a hot button subject. But what I think a lot of people are saying is that they don't believe this person, even though they don't have personal experience with this person. It was Melody who had the experience with them. So my question really was, when do you allow Melody to share her experience about someone before people kind of go in and say, I'm here to protect or to cover or whatever those cases may be? Because there are people that are gifted with sight. Someone's saying that in my chat. I'm saying it too. I experienced it for myself and I would have never thought that to be true for myself.
Well, Dyana, I don't think that, it's not that I don't think that there's no psychics in the world or prophets. What I don't believe is everybody that say it, just because they say it, don't mean they are. There's a lot of false prophets too. Correct. There's a lot of people that use it for money, to gain money, Miss Cleo. Like, I'm just saying. So you're right. I say that part. But on the other hand, I just think it doesn't have nothing to do with her being a prophet or not. I think people just need to stop making a mountain out of a molehill. Like, there is no problem with this woman. Why do people want to create a problem, period?
Okay. So someone's saying that she had an attack against a YouTuber. So I want to just be very clear. I did not hear the YouTuber's commentary, if that's the correct word. I didn't hear that part. So I don't know what that YouTuber said that warranted her response. I heard her response, but I didn't hear what she said. Is there anyone who knows whether or not the content creator kind of went in on this person, or whether they just were like, because I also spoke, but I gave a summary. I didn't speak ill either way. I was just saying what was said, and I only gave a summary, and it wasn't everything. So I'm going to say this too. I made it a point of being really light and kind of positive about it, because I was like, well, this could be someone that Melody associates with. So I wasn't thinking to drag her through the coals. That was my thinking when I did my commentary on it. So that's why I wanted to know what you guys' thoughts were. So if there's someone in the chat, because I'm not going to stay up here for very long, because I know that you guys are kind of scared to talk about it. But go ahead.
You still can hear me, Diana?
I can.
Okay. I'm just saying, in reference to that, Mel is very smart. Mel uses a lot of wisdom. People don't give Mel enough credit. I think even the millimeters don't give Mel the credit in letting her make her own decisions and use the wisdom that she uses. So I think they just need, and she watches. She's a observer. She doesn't act right away. That's how you know she's real smart, because
yes.
she, I'll be
100%.
Yeah, as soon as, like, there won't even be a show. The first day on the set, somebody says something wrong. I'm breaking up all the equipment. I'm gonna pull out all the plugs. That's just me. I'm learning. I'm growing. But Mel is very observant. She watches. She has poise. She has sophistication. But then when she comes back, boy, be careful, because when she comes back, her words alone will take you out. She doesn't even have to do anything. And that's what people don't give her the credit for. So I would just say that they just need to let Mel, let her live her life, let her make her own decisions, her own judgments. It's just too much sometimes with the millimeters. It's too much.
Okay. Well, that was pretty much it, y'all. I just wanted to see what you guys had to say regarding what was going on with that. Those were really my only topics for today. But let's see. Someone said, in my opinion, I know Mel knows exactly who it is, and she's doing exactly what she should do, and that's pay them dust. Okay. And I'm not really for sure what that was in response to. So some people were saying that they heard the content creator and they didn't think it was that bad, that she was just in response. I know that what the lady who called herself the prophetess, she said that she made it seem like she said some things like, how dare you speak over Melody's situation? Because she said that, that she's doing what everyone else is doing. So how?
But ain't that what we all do?
Yeah,
that's what we all do.
That's what she actually said. She said, isn't that what we're all doing? Which it is. Like, literally, there is a chat Monday through Sunday, several times a day, where we discuss these things. So that is why I'm asking you guys, help me understand when are we going too far? When are we going too far? I would love for you guys to come up. Stop being shy, because you guys come up every other time. Come up and talk about it. We are literally asking the question, if we're all having these conversations about not just Melody, but everybody on the show. And I've always come to the platform and discussed the show. Even if I'm speaking of other things, I'm like, this is what's going on the show. This is how this relates to the show.
Okay.
I don't do, a lot of the backroom stuff. But it's just, that's the type of stuff that I dream about. So I don't actually want to necessarily. It can be interesting at times, and sometimes it can be really heavy. But at the end of the day, if we're all having these conversations, whether it's on the public platform or in the membership, why are we so upset? That's what I want to know. I really want to know what you guys are thinking. Maritha, get yourself up here.
I think people are becoming obsessed.
Yeah, and it's almost leading. it's a very thin line where you are.
Okay.
Yeah, session.
Got it. So someone said that the CC said that Mel's prophetess was spilling Mel's personal business, and that she indicated she would not want her doing that. Okay, so that's where she believes she crossed the line.
Yeah,
okay.
A real I don't do the prophetess thing like I said, but a real prophet, I believe in prophets. They don't do that. They don't go on a live, an Instagram, and just spill the guts and say all these things. That doesn't really happen. What is said, if it's something that's for you, it should be said to you.
So your problem with her is the title, right? Is that she used the title of prophetess, correct?
Correct. That's
okay.
not, to me, that's not a prophetess. Not at all. You got to be careful, Diana, who you let touch you, speak over you, pray over you, touch your belly, touch your head. Ain't everybody got the right spirit. And they'll be just transferring spirits onto you. You got to be real careful with that. People don't understand that, but that's a serious thing. That's a thing.
So let me ask you this, True Wisdom. I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I'm curious. Do you feel like you are speaking the wrong words over someone when you say Melody is in danger? Are we not?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't like it.
I never say that.
I don't like it.
But I hear it all the time, Diana.
Yes. Okay. You never said that, even when they used to say, "Oh, Martel is gonna hurt her."
Thank you, God, you have it.
So let's
speaking that into existence over her life. You put that in the atmosphere, it's gonna happen.
Okay. Let me stop you, ladies. Hold on, because I have always, when I hear that, if y'all see me on my panel, I've always clammed up like, "Ooh,
yes,
don't do that." I always clam up, and I always say, we're not going to say that. Let's not do this, because I've seen people do that, and that seems to run rampant on the platform.
People don't understand the power of the tongue. They don't. And life and death. That's a serious thing, because let's say Mel wasn't a Christian and covered. Even if Mel wasn't, her mom got her covered. Because sometimes it don't have to be the person. It could be my mom, my grandparents. They prayed for me. They got me covered. Okay? Your children might not be a Christian save or whatever you want to call it, but your prayers cover them. Okay? Your husband might not be the best husband, a Christian and this and the next, but the Bible says a woman will sanctify her husband, or vice versa. So I'm just saying, if Mel wasn't that type of person who prays and covers herself, there's so much things people put out there that will just manifest. But because she's covered, it can't even touch her anyway.
Okay, because I've heard her. I remember her coming out one day when people were saying things over her son. And I remember her getting in the car and saying, "I got to just clear this up right now. Do not speak these words over my son." I have never had anyone speak words like that over me. And I don't know if you guys are used to having that happen to you, but do not do this to my son. And I remember thinking, okay, I'm because I have always been one who's been careful about speaking those words over people like that. And so it's when I saw it happening, I was like, "Ooh, that's heavy. That's heavy to carry." And I just wanted to know what your thoughts were about it.
And not knocking anybody, but there are false prophets. There are false prophets. The Bible talks about that. If you believe in the Bible, there are false prophets that are going to be cast into lake of fire with everybody else that's going there. So I'm just saying that's a thing. Not everybody who says I'm a prophetess, I'm a this, I'm a that, and speaking over you and telling you all these things, you want to take that on. I've seen it in church numerous of times where people speak over people saying, "Oh, your cancer is going to be healed. Your this is going to be that." If you, the person who has the disease, don't have the faith, and you ain't praying, you are not going to get healed. It's your faith. It's not going to be somebody praying over you. That will help. But you have to believe. You have to have the faith to believe in your own healing. So that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of things that people don't understand how this, and I don't want to get into all that. So that's just, I'll leave it there. There are false prophets out there.
Okay. And I believe you, there's false everything and everything. You know what I'm saying?
And people, even the viewers though, they they are very, like, they start to become like obsessive, you know, and then they put their views and stuff like that, and then they get mad if you don't see it their way. But yet when they say things like speaking things out into the universe, they don't feel like they're doing nothing wrong now.
And then also, when somebody speaks over you and you take that on and you start believing what they said, okay, not getting confirmation from the Most High himself, you're now going to miss the real blessing that he has for you, because you're on a whole different path. So that's another reason why we got to be careful what we allow people to speak.
Hold on one second. I'm seeing that people are saying they can't come up. So I'm going to drop another link. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm just now seeing this. So I'm dropping another link right now. This is just the invite link, okay? So hopefully this one works. Please, God, I hope it works for y'all. Because I really do want people to come up. So
yeah, this is
Judy, and I saw Maritha, and it really is a good conversation. I think that more people we need more people involved in this conversation. And seriously, it's because, okay, it's working now, because here comes Miss Maritha, okay?
Maritha, I listen to her all the time. And Diana, I just want to say thank you, because your platform allows people like us to be able to come up here and be comfortable about talking like this, because it could be, ridiculed even having these kind of conversations. I appreciate and I thank you for that.
Well, thank you, True Wisdom. And what I want to say is this panel, the goal here is not to bash anyone. The goal here is just to find out, are we going too far? And, we say things all the time as YouTubers. That's true. We say things all the time as YouTubers under the veil that we are watching these people on TV so we can talk about their lives. However, we push buttons all the time. We go too far all the time in the things that we say. And I'm saying we as a collective, okay? We as the collective may say or do things all the time that may be too far. And at some point, we have to take that in consideration too. Like, oh, I might not be speaking life over this person, and this is the wrong thing to do. So, okay. Now I have Maritha, Tiff, and I'm gonna mute.
Hi, Maritha. You feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm feeling a little better. I'm going walking later, so I'm starting.
Okay, honey. You got me on.
Yeah, it's an echo.
Me?
Somebody.
Do I have an echo?
Okay.
No, not you, Maritha.
Okay, I think it was True Wisdom. Nope, not True Wisdom. Not True Wisdom. It's you.
It's me? Going now?
Okay, talk.
Am I echoing now?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Okay, what's your thoughts? Yes, you are. Hold on. Okay, Maritha, it sounds like you either have another device on that's playing this show, and it is giving us a echo, or like you can hear the voice afterwards. So there's like a delay. So I put you on mute, but I don't know if you need to turn something off. Okay, can you talk?
Okay, am I good now?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Well, my thoughts, like, I want to start with Rasheed and Simone. I am so disappointed and so Rasheed and Simone looked like they was going to be such a beautiful couple. And I remember the first time they postponed the marriage, and I said, okay, there's little hiccups, things happen, especially, when you're planning a wedding and when you're planning things, stuff happens. And then, it was just, after a while, it just didn't seem quite right. To me, it just didn't seem quite right. And then when I hear this, I am so taken aback that words can't really even explain it. And I know if I'm this confused, just imagine how Simone is feeling about the whole situation, right? And if this is the way now, when I listened to him when he said, you know, he had these issues for like all his life, you know, even at, you know, going to school, and he learned at an early age how to manipulate people. And that's the sad part right there, that you have to go through life manipulating people, and you cannot be, you know, what it is that you inspire to be. And then this woman, you know, if he loved her like he said he loved her, he would have been honest with her from the beginning. I have this problem. I have these issues. Instead of letting her get to this, instead of getting to this point now where you have embarrassed not only yourself, you have humiliated this woman. You have embarrassed her. And, you know, anything else, you have hurt her. Because if I'm feeling this way, confused and like, what the what? I know she's somewhere like, you know, and if there was red signs, who knows? I don't know. And we just assuming, you know, because when he was on the show, he said luxury vehicles, you know.
Rents.
I'm just,
vehicles, yep.
Yeah, rent luxury vehicles. And I'm just saying, why? You know, I'm just asking the question, why? And I'm pretty sure she's asked that question, is asking that question and trying to figure out that question. Why would you do that? Especially to me, somebody that say they love you. You know, that part, it's mind boggling. It is just mind boggling. And as far as the prophet, that lady, I can't stand in judgment of anyone because that's not my job. And I know when you judge other people, God judge you harsher than you judge that person that you're judging. However, I do believe in the prophet because the Bible speaks of it. And the Bible do speaks of false prophets. Now, I can't say this lady is a false prophet because when I listen to what I can, as much as I can tolerate listening to her, what she was doing, I believe, and in my opinion, was giving her opinion because nobody knows the future. You know, God say no man knows the day, nor the time, nor the hour. So when God say no man, that means nobody don't know but God. So God holds.
That's referring to the coming of Christ.
Let's
look, I'm saying, look, nobody cannot predict the future because if we could, we would be trying to, if we know what was coming ahead of time, we would be trying to get it right now.
Maritha,
for me,
Maritha, I just told a story where I told you twice someone predicted what was going to happen with me. Twice. Twice.
Yeah, but for me, Dyana, for me, I just don't believe in that. I really don't. Now, when a person is, my pastor prophesies, you know, over me, you know, he picks up feelings and you're not where you're supposed to be, Maritha, and this is what's going on with you. And by me being a student of the word and trying to know more and to, you know, have this deeper relationship with God, you know, people say, I see you being this, I see you being that. But until God dropped that in my spirit, or he parts the way like he parted the Red Sea for me, then I will walk through that. But, you know, it has to be God driven and God led for me. Now, psychics and, you know, horoscopes. I used to read my horoscope every day. I used to read that every day. But, you know, I stopped. And then,
Maritha, I'm going to stop you for a second because really I don't want to get into whether she was right or wrong, because everybody's going to feel differently. I know that there is a whole bunch of people that have different feelings on that particular part, whether or not it was real or fake. The real question I was asking is if this was Melody's acquaintance. Okay, a lot of people said
Okay. You
Melody's
know,
acquaintance, then why are people not allowing Melody to make the decision about what's going to happen next with that acquaintance?
okay, Dyana, I think someone had already said it, and I'm going to say it the way I say it. We are only seeing this, we're seeing it. Mel is living this. And Mel has always been slow to speak.
Okay.
She liked to sit back, in my opinion, she liked to sit back and observe, to analyze. Because when you run into something head on, and when you're a friend, when you say she's an acquaintance, she's not a friend. She was part of that circle, but not really like the inner circle. I don't know. But when you're a friend, to me, when you're a friend with a person, when you're friends with someone, whatever you're going through in your friendship, there's boundaries that you do not cross. If we stop speaking today or tomorrow, and people know this about me, whatever you tell me, you told it to me. And I don't care how I feel about you or what you're saying about me. I'm not going to come back at you, because I know the God that I serve gonna handle you. Because see, if I handle you, I'm going to get some time, and it'll make me feel good for a little minute,
Marie,
and you're going to go on about your business.
we don't need you to
But
get
when God handle it, it's going to be handled. So whatever reason this lady came out and said the things that, I'm not saying she right, I'm not saying she wrong. My opinion is, I just felt like the lady was giving, it sounded like a commentary to me, and I just did not feel like being bothered listening to it. So that's why I decided okay, I done had enough. I don't want to hear any more about it. And if
specifically, and I get that. So you may have some feelings around it. My question is, you I think you may have answered it. You feel like Melody likes to sit back and watch before she makes a statement.
And sometimes, Dyana, some things are not even worth a response.
Mm-hmm.
When you know what you know, you speak on that. But when sometimes, it's just best to just, let a person say whatever it is they feel like they need to say for that day. Because whatever this lady reason is, only she know the reason why. She may be upset with Mel. She may be warning Mel. I don't know. She may be feeling, I need to say this. And she said what she had to say. But when she's coming after content creators, y'all job is like reporter. That's what you do.
So this is what I'm going to say. I didn't hear what the content creator said. Some people in the chat had shared some comments about it. But she seemed very sensitive about whatever that content creator said. And she ended it with, I'm not coming back to IG. She said, I hate it here. I hate it here. I'm not coming back to IG. I thought it was hilarious. Not that I'm laughing at anybody's pain, but it was just enough to make her say, I'm not dealing with any of this mess. So I'll say.
But Dyana, with that, when you are a public servant, when you can spew it, you got to be able to handle it. Well, so when you throwing a stone, when you throwing a brick, you better be prepared for what's coming behind that. And you can't allow people to dictate your feelings. You can't allow that. So if she's going to get off of IG, maybe she probably needs to get off for a while.
You're not lying.
And regroup and come back and do it differently.
You're not lying. I will say this, because you don't always know what that something that's coming for you is going to look like. Okay. You don't always know what that looks like, but you have to be strong enough to, be able to face it when it happens. Okay. So people seem to be dropping down, Maritha. So let me move on to the next person. I think it's Miss Tiffany Tiff. And then we will get to the next one. Hey, Tiff.
Hi, can you hear me?
Do you need me to drop down, Diana?
No, everybody can stay up. I don't have any problem with you staying up here, but I do need you to mute up. And Tiff is the next person in line. So, hey, Tiff.
Hi, Diana. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I just wanted to say that I actually listened to the live from the prophet, and I don't think she really said anything bad about Mel. I feel like she was just giving what she stated as her prophecy regarding the show. I think since she said that Mel may leave the show, I think like some of the diehard fans probably interpreted it as the prophecy was bad for Mel. And then she kind of alluded to AC coming on the show and Martell having like some financial breakthroughs. And I think people are so invested in looking at Mel as the winner and Martell as the loser when they heard her kind of say the opposite of that. To me, that's why they took it so personal about her attacking Mel.
Okay.
And
And just for the record, I just want to say she did not say any name. She gave descriptions. So we heard those descriptions and said this must be XYZ, right?
yeah, I mean, you can basically kind of
For sure.
figure who she was talking about, the male star of the show, the female star of the show,
Right.
the longest married couple. I mean, she didn't say any names, but it was kind of easy to kind of pinpoint who she was talking about.
There's a lot of really strong opinions in the chat. You are welcome to come up. There is a new pin that is up at the top of the chat. So please come up and give your opinions. I'd love to hear from you. This is how good discussions are had and how we learn something new when we have a good, healthy dialogue. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that, Tiff. Go ahead.
And I just also wanted to say that I did check her IG yesterday before everything had kind of took off. I noticed that Miss Van was following her. And then I looked today and I saw that she was no longer following her. And I saw that the lady was also following Miss Van. And this is all what I looked at and saw yesterday. And
wow.
I see now that they are no longer following each other.
Okay. Well, thank you for that because I was not aware of that. Okay.
And regarding the prophet, the other YouTube creator, she just basically took the live and put it on her YouTube page. Now the title was a bit, I guess, it was kind of like clickbait. Mel's close friend backstabbed her. But she really didn't give an opinion on it. She just took the live from the prophet and put it on her YouTube. And then I went to the prophet's live, and she kind of seemed like she was kind of bullying people and kind of using like God and spiritual powers to justify her bullying people and saying that, you know, this is going to come back on you or whatever. And then the last thing I want to say, and I know a lot of people may not like this, but if she was a close acquaintance of Mel's, I feel like Mel may need to sharpen her discernment skills because it seems like she affiliates herself with a lot of people that they seem to mean well in the beginning, but then it's always like a problem later on. So it's just like, I know Miss Van did a interview with the Love and Marriage Huntsville fan page a while ago, and she said she tried to warn Mel about, there were several people that she's had in her life that she's tried to warn her about, including the Scotts. And you know, I guess for whatever reason, she didn't take that advice, but I really don't know. It is kind of a pattern with her. Like and I don't think it's necessarily her fault. I'm not saying that, but it seems like it's always somebody that she is close to or she has an acquaintance with. And then somehow, some way there is a falling out or they do something to her. And it's just like, well, maybe she needs to kind of be more cautious of who she's confiding in and who she's, you know, telling things to. And maybe this will happen less.
And I will say this, she didn't say, I don't think anyone can confirm that she was a close acquaintance. I just use acquaintance as opposed to friend because a lot of people in the chat were saying that they weren't friends.
Well, isn't she the one who told her for every demon, for every demon, there are going to be 5 blessings?
Hold on one second. Someone's mic is giving a lot of feedback. Okay, sorry about that, Tiff. From what I'm understanding, yes, that she is the one who said that, but just to make sure that we don't cause any like high emotion or feelings, it was never stated that she was a friend. It was never stated that she was a close acquaintance. I just used the word acquaintance to say that she was familiar with Melody.
Well, I'm gonna say this. Obviously, she was a confidant at some point, because she would always use that for every demon, 5 blessings. I saw that a lot on her live. So obviously, for her to be repeating what this lady said, and she obviously believed it, she had to be somewhat of a confidant for her.
Somewhat of a confidant. Okay, and
can I just respond to her real quick on what she was saying about Mel? It's kind of like,
let me say this first, True Wisdom.
Okay, sure.
What I want to say is what we have since learned since you came up, Miss Tiff, is that Melody's mother, Miss Vanessa, was following her, and you said that she unfollowed her. Yes. She was following her yesterday, unfollowed her today. So I wanted to put that out there because, again, there could be I guess, a separation of whatever this relationship happened to have been. It could have been a separation, but the question still holds: do you give a Melody an opportunity to share that before things happen, or if you just, kind of go in? Okay, sorry about that. Go ahead, Truism.
No, I was just going to say to the point that she made about basically, I guess, I don't know, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Tiff. Are you saying then Mel is not using discernment in the friends and the people that she chooses or who's around her?
Well, maybe
Let me ask you that first before I just say what I want to say.
Well, maybe I won't even go that far, but maybe I can see a pattern of people who she essentially thought were her friends and that are proven to not be. So there was Alonda. She's no longer friends with her. Destiny, no longer friends with her. The clothes hairdresser Harper, no longer friends with her. Stormy, no longer friends with her. And I'm not saying it's her fault per se. I'm just saying I see a pattern.
And I'll also say, and I understand you're saying you see a pattern, but I'll also say that the people that you named were really friends of her husband, claiming her husband first. So, or her ex. My bad. Right. I said it wrong. Claimed her husband first. So I can see why she would separate herself from those people, because we haven't seen people that she called her set of friends, not knowing them through her ex-husband.
And right. And so the reason I asked you that is because, like Diana said, they were not her friends, and that's on them. They're the ones with the problem, because I see Mel as being similar to myself. I always see the good in people. Sometimes I don't exercise discernment in everything I do. I'm supposed to, but we don't always do. And I always want to see the good in everyone. And because I'm a good person, I consider myself a good person, want to help and want to make sure you're good and all of this stuff. And I remember one time I asked my pastor, because I help my family. I always given money, paying for people's tuition in school and all that. And then my family sometimes turn around and stab me in the back. And I remember asking my pastor one time, I said, I'm so sick of helping people and giving people and all this. And he basically said to me, that's your blessing. That's what you were called to do. That's what God placed in you to do. You can't put what you were called to do and how you are on what somebody else is doing. That's on them. So I'm just saying that to say Mel is that's just who Mel is. The help, wanting to help.
Said that. She's actually said that. She said, she sees the good in people first. That's how she put it.
And we are so quick to, like I said, throw people away, or I'm not going to forgive them for this and I'm not going to forgive them for that. But guess what? That's why she's blessed, because she's not like how some of us are. And that's why she's constantly being blessed. So I'm just saying that to say, you might think she's not using discernment, but that's just her gift. That's just one of her gifts. And yes, she might get stabbed in the back, as we can see, but I'm never going to hold that against her for being who she is and being true to herself.
Okay. All right. Let's talk to let's talk to Cinnamon Swirl. Everybody else mic up.
Good evening. Hi. Good afternoon, everybody. How are you?
Hey, how are you, honey?
I'm good. I just wanted to say, I think a lot of people do make more out of it than Mel does. She seems to be very cool and lighthearted, she would sit back and make her own decision. I think too many people want to speak for her. And it bothers me because as a child, my mother always told me, do not let anyone ever take your voice and speak for you. So a lot of people do need to calm down and wait for Mel. She is an adult. She might be younger than me. I have a child. My daughter is her age, but she's still a grown adult. And I don't know if this woman was really Mel's friend, close friend. I believe Mel latched on to her saying, for every demon, five blessings, because of so many different things that were going on in her life. And sometimes you need a word to gratify you. And I believe that word from that person, it spoke to Mel's heart and she latched on to it. So I don't know how close she was to this person, but I believe that's the reason why she kept saying for every demon, because so much was coming at her. And I do believe God has her. Okay. And he will always have her as long as she continues to walk in the grace of God. She acknowledges God.
To her?
And I believe that every person needs to know God for themselves. Especially in this time and age that we live in, get to know God for yourself. It is not your pastor's responsibility to tell you what God has over your life. It's your own responsibility. That's why Christ came and died. It's now your relationship with God. And so we don't need to have anybody else in between our relationship with God, whether it be your husband, your wife, your mother, your father, your pastor, your prophetess, whoever. That is your relationship with God. And he is waiting for you to take everybody out of the way and come directly to him. So that's all I wanted to say.
Okay. You wanted to respond?
Yeah, I just wanted to respond to her point where she said everybody speaks for Mel. So this all started because the money-making Mel, well, I'm not going to say the name, a fan page which Mel follows, posted
I understand. We're not gonna.
Yeah, I understand that. That's not what I'm saying, though. There's too many people trying to take on what is happening to Mel as though it's their own life. Yes, people can relate to what she's going through, but people are taking on too much of it, is all I'm saying. And sometimes people have to step back. It is not your problem. It's not your issue.
Okay.
Don't let it control your life is pretty much what I'm saying.
So I don't know.
I'm not referring to you. I'm not referring to you. Don't take this personal. I don't know you. I don't know your name. I don't know what you look like. This is nothing personal. I'm not referring to anybody that I know of. I'm just saying, based on what I've seen and all these different chats and lies, people take it on too personally. And they don't need to do that.
Cinnamon Swirl, hold on one second. Okay, Tiff, I know which page you're talking about, and I just wanted to say I was actually tagged on the post, and she didn't say anyone's name,
but people were able to. She dropped a hint in the comments, and she said she's pretending to be Mel's friend. She is always.
She said she's questioning it. I remember. I know exactly what it said, but I don't want to have any. I don't want us to blame anybody for anything because
no. What I'm saying is that initially, and then Mel initially put a comment that was later deleted. But I guess this is what I'll say about.
Oh, okay, say that, because that's what I asked you guys if Mel actually said something. I didn't know
she did, and then it was quickly deleted. I guess she didn't want to bring too much attention to it, but. I guess my thing is that people do relate to Mel. They do like her.
Sure.
But it's like, where does the line draw? It's like reality stars, they want support. They, support that translate into buying products and really supporting that person. And then it's like, when they get people too invested, then it's like, okay, well, no, you guys need to stay out of it and let Mel handle it. Well, if that's the case, then why do we do these lives? Why are we commenting on it, period? If we should just stay out of it, people can relate to the issue, and so they're passionate about it.
Listen, Tiff, I'm asking the same thing. I said that too. I said, we do these lives Monday through Sunday, and people are passionate about it. I was asking specifically, do you think that what this woman said was any different from what people say Monday through Sunday, better or worse. And I understand that it's very triggering for people because of the title that she has claimed. But I just wanted to know from you guys, where does, because people keep saying, especially over the last couple of weeks, that the millimeters are too aggressive, maybe. I was just curious if you thought that people were being too aggressive. But I also said on several different times throughout this live, I didn't know if Melody had said anything or not. I wasn't sure.
Well, like I said, on the initial post, she did make a comment kind of agreeing with what was said, but it was quickly deleted. When I heard the live, I did not hear anything wrong with what the lady said. I feel like people attacked her because what she was saying was being perceived as the woman star of the show, eventually having to leave, the male going in a different direction, bringing on new women and having some type of financial success and possibly getting a spinoff. And like I said, I think the people are so invested in male good, Martell bad.
Right, exactly.
They kind of thought that they took it the wrong way.
Okay. That's okay. I totally understand. Okay, I'm going to go to, I think it's Josie. You're next, hon. I'm going to have everybody else mic up.
Hey, good afternoon, y'all.
Hi, this your first time on the platform?
It is. I always miss your live, so I was like, when I catch it today, I have to come up.
That you got an opportunity to come up today. We had a couple of different subjects, but I know that there's one that's hotter than the other, that's more hot than the rest. But what would you like to talk about?
I will speak on the whole situation with Mel a little bit, but I don't want to dive too deep just because, people have very strong opinions about it, and I don't want to,
Correct.
start anything. So,
Sensitive subject.
yes.
So we're respectful. Correct.
I just think that, there should be a line drawn with these celebrities and fans, because I am a millimeter, but at the same time, I didn't see the comment that Mel had, that I didn't see that comment, the one that had got deleted. I didn't see it at all. So, I did say, let's wait and see what Mel says about it, and then, try to respond, because she is an acquaintance from my understanding. But some people were saying that she is an inner circle and Mel believes her and this and that. I said, let's just wait to see what Mel says about it and then speak on it, because we don't know all of the facts. We don't know how Mel feels about it. And anyone who's seen the comment that got deleted can, say if, y'all saw it before it got deleted. I definitely want to know what it said. I know that the previous panelist said that she was kind of agreeing with the lady, but we just have to draw a line when it comes to these things, because people are looking at the millimeters like, y'all are aggressive, y'all are attacking people, y'all are doing this, y'all are doing that, and it might be some of the millimeters, but it's not all of us. But we all get this name as being aggressive, as being, bullying and all that type of stuff. So, I'm not going to speak too much on that, but, let's just see if Mel's going to come out and say something else about it, and then, and then speak about it again, because like I said, I didn't see the comment, but apparently she was agreeing with her, but I don't really agree with all of that,
Okay, no problem. I totally understand. I'm going to ask Darlene, I put your comment up here. You said to go back and truly listen to the story of Simone reporting wrong. I don't believe that I reported wrong on anything that I said. I listened to the entire story. So if there is something that you feel was not accurate, I encourage you to come up, and you can stay behind your wall, the little Abby picture, if you'd like. That's not a problem. But in order for us to know what you're talking about, you're going to either have to say it out loud or come up here, or write it out in your comments, or come up here and talk about it. Okay. All right. So let's see. Is it Josie? Do you have anything else you'd like to talk about? Did any of the other subjects? We had Simone and Rasheed. We have Tia and Cory. And then we also had Larsa Pippen.
Well, I will address one thing that you just said about the Doreen. I do really want to see that comment that she's talking about something being reported wrong, because what the previous panelists have said and what everybody, I feel like we're all agreeing about what happened. So I do really want, if she could step up and talk about it, or if she could put it in the comments, what's being reported wrong.
For sure. I'd love a different perspective, or if you believe something was communicated incorrectly,
Right.
I'd love for you to come up and share it, because that's how it gets righted. Otherwise, it is going to stay wrong. Because I watched the entire interview. I sat there watching with tears in my eyes. So I don't know exactly what it is that you're referring to. So I would like for you to share that. Okay. If that is it, Miss Josie, I'm going to have you mic up, and then we are going to go to BX Girl. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Dyana.
Hi, how are you, honey?
I'm here, breathing and moving. That's the best I can do today.
Child, that's the best all of us are supposed to do. Breathing, moving, that means you got a jump on a whole bunch of people.
Yes, ma'am. And I'm thankful and grateful.
Right.
I'll start with the Scottie Pippen thing.
Okay.
If she wasn't on that basketball court getting bad knees, she doesn't deserve half. That's just my opinion. If it was reversed, that's my opinion. Maybe a stipend of it or something like that. But half, I don't agree with that.
Okay.
On either level. If you didn't put in that work, then child support, yeah. But to take care of you for the rest of your life, I don't agree with that. Never have.
And let me just say this too, because I did watch Real Housewives of Miami from very first season. And Larsa used to always say that she was his business manager, and that everything that ever happened with his career was because of her. She was like, I take care of the kids. I'm the business manager. There isn't anything that happens in our house without me. And I thought that was interesting, because you don't look at Larsa and think, even on the show, you was like, that's not really happening.
Yeah, okay.
He gave you a fake job, so it feels like you're important, allegedly. But she used to say that all the time. So it's interesting how that played out for her. But I think that's the law in California too.
I know, but that's just, again, my opinion. Don't beat me up, y'all. But that's just my opinion. A piece of it, okay, but half, meh.
Okay.
That's just my opinion.
Okay.
The other young lady with the guy that she was trying to I don't know their story, so I'm not going to comment on that.
Okay.
The prophetess. I think what triggered a lot of people was that she called herself a prophetess.
Okay.
A lot of people don't believe in it.
Okay.
I had a similar experience to you, Dyana, where someone came to me. I was at work, and I was helping her, and she said, "Can I tell you something?" And I'm like, mm-hmm. And she told me a few things about my birth, why I wasn't supposed to be here. Someone very special to me had just died, and it was a whole situation with that. And she said that he told her to tell me some things, and and it was interesting. And I went home and I asked my mother about it, because I was curious.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why would this lady say this? And I found out that my mother did have a difficult birth with me.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, if this certain doctor hadn't shown up, I think both of us would.
Lost BX. She'll come back. Okay, so let's go to the review hour. I think you're next in line, and we'll get her back when she comes back in. Hey, review hour.
Hey, good afternoon. I'm driving, so if you hear cars in the background, forgive me.
That's okay. What's going on, sis? What you got to talk about?
Yes, I was listening. For one thing, as far as the millimeters are concerned, I hear a lot of people sometimes say that, Melody should, get them in line, or, get them to pull back, but as the celebrity, I do not believe that it's her responsibility. Now, as a fan of anyone, I think that it's the fan's responsibility to know where that line is.
Okay.
And, now that's,
I said the beehive. Someone said on my channel, I forgot who, but they said, Beyonce don't stop the beehive, child. The beehive is a beehive.
Exactly. So, and with that, I just don't think it is her responsibility. We are adults. I think someone else mentioned that in the comments on the panel, and we are adults, and we should know how far to go, and how what to say, what not to say, what's hurtful, what's not hurtful, all of those things. And and of course none of us are perfect. We're imperfect. So sometimes we go too far, and and we know when we go too far, and that's when we do have to just try to change. So if we are going too far as fans of hers, in our conversation and all of that, then that's just something that we would personally have to work on. And as far as the prophet, what now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I listened to a great portion of it. I didn't listen to all of it, but as I was listening to it, the, I what I got, I thought she was insinuating at one point that a certain person's ideas were hers, and that almost as if she made that certain person a millionaire,
Oh,
and
wow.
that she's gonna do what she wants to do in order to sort of get paid. I'm not quoting her verbatim, but that's what I got from it, as if she was accusing a certain person, which we all know who the certain person is, of taking her ideas. And at that point I feel like that's business. As far as if it's concerning business, then you take that behind closed doors. Don't turn it into some type of prophetic reading, you
Mhm.
know but as far as, that's what I got, and I could be, maybe I interpreted wrong or perceived
Okay.
it wrong, but I didn't like that. I
And
didn't.
I only listened, and I literally did my thing from memory, but you may be accurate. I don't remember it like that, but that doesn't mean that I'm right.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay. And as far as, and last but not least, the last thing is, as far as a born again Christian and believer. Now, I do believe that fortune tellers, seers, uh, people that claim to be witches, I believe they have power. Because in order for them to have power, God has to allow them to have it. That does not mean that it is of God. So Satan is the prime example. you know
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
he created him, and he has power, but his power does not supersedes God. And
Correct.
so I do believe that fortune tellers, seers, and all of that, but also the scriptures do state that they are not of God,
Okay.
and that they are not something that he would want believers to be involved with. So that's just my belief, because everybody does not believe the same or have the same faith. So I'm not throwing it out as if everybody should believe that. That's just me personally. If someone tells me that they are a seer, they are a fortune teller, they are a psychic, then I don't want to have any parts in it because of my faith and how I was brought up.
Okay. Listen, someone said that I didn't hear all of the lives, so I didn't miss it. And I didn't even realize that there were other lives. So thank you for actually sharing that information. So apparently there were more lives that came out. And I guess people were, and you guys were privy to that. I was not. So I appreciate you sharing that information. Okay. Anthony Lofties is in the chat. He said, I do believe in prophets. I feel she was speaking in first person. If you listen closely, she kept saying, I feel, I think. Okay. So Anthony has had experience with prophet. his father, I apologize if I make this mistake, but I believe he said that his father was a minister. So he is very familiar with the Bible and the church. And thank you, Anthony, for your opinion on all of this. Okay. Let's see. Did I interrupt you? Did you have anything additional you'd like to add to this?
No, that was it. If you're still speaking to me.
Yes, I'm still
Yeah,
speaking to you.
okay. No, that was it. Those are the
That
things
was it.
to bring.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. You can stay up if you'd like. I'm going to go back to BX Girl because we got cut off. She was talking about her mother going to her, and she said that was when she found out her mother had a difficult pregnancy.
All right. I'm sorry. I got cut off. I didn't even know I was cut off. I was moving around. But
Okay.
yeah, my mom, it ended up being I'm the it. She had a difficult birth. We both would have left here. Back in the 60s, the technology wasn't as advanced as it is now, of course. I'm here for that reason. But some of the things that lady said to me turned out to be true. So I piggybacked off of your story, Dyana, because I don't go seeking that information. I grew up in church all my life. I believe in God. I also believe that people are gifted.
You also believe people are gifted. Okay.
I'm not going to. I had another situation where a friend of mine told me all day at work. I'm not going to go deep into it. All day at work, I kept saying I had to do something that I really didn't want to do. I had to do something that I really didn't want to do. And my friend walked up to me and she grabbed me and she held on to me. She said, "Do not go there after work. Don't go." And I'm like, "But I need to go." And it was about my money and I need to get my money. And that she said, "Did you hear what I said? Don't go." And I'm like, whoa. And I left work. I started to go. I turned around. I came home. I got my son. I took him to the barber shop. I'm waiting for the barber. I'm looking at the news. And if I had gone there, I would have been involved in a murder. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wow.
Yes, ma'am.
Listen,
I was so shook that I had to leave that barbershop and come home to my mama. You know how you want your mama when something happened?
Facts.
I grabbed my kids and I took off and I'm like, "Oh my God, oh my God, look at this. Did you see this?" And I needed my mommy and my daddy at that point. I turned right back into a 5-year-old and I had a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
So there are people who are gifted. I'm not saying that this young lady was or wasn't, but there are people who can give you a word.
I've experienced it. I also dream things and they come true later. I have seen it as vivid as in my waking life, and it will happen exactly like that. Including moving into the house that I live in now. I saw it before I actually saw the house. Like I saw it. So it's crazy how these things happen, and we all have it in some capacity. It's just a matter of how we've trained ourselves to think about it. Like people who have really early memories of being a child. Like I remember I told my mom like this really early memory that I had of my father and something that happened between her and my father. And she literally dropped the phone and said, "You were 3 years old. How do you even know that?" And I remember saying, "I don't know, but it comes to me all the time." Like I think about it. I remember the day. I remember the building it was in. I remember everything. And she was like, she literally would tell me, and my sister will tell you this to this day. Like she would tell me, "You scare the hell out of me." She would say that. "Don't talk to me. You scare the hell out of me." Because she didn't want me to tell her what I would see or things that I remembered.
But when we say this also, I want just this is just me. We tell our children now, if you don't like somebody, tell me. You don't have to be around them. So are we all born with that instinct?
Yes, we are.
And so if we're born with that instinct, some people may.
It's intuition.
Correct. So some of us continue on with it. Some of us don't. It leaves us. So it's like a whole catch-22. Whatever everybody else believes, I don't judge anybody at all. That's not my job. That's between you and your God. But don't be so quick to judge others.
Well, and it is a triggering subject, and I understand why. So I am very respectful of people who feel the opposite way. So let me say that too. I understand that we all have our beliefs, and because of that, it literally leads our lives. So we have to be respectful of people's belief, because their beliefs leads their lives, and that it is what it is. They have to have their own experiences with whatever it is that is being discussed in order to change those opinions. Otherwise, they're going to live and die with those opinions. That's just what it is. And that is why these platforms are important, because it helps people, even if they say, I don't believe this mess, I don't think about it, whatever, even if they say that, if they hear it, it's there. It's a seed that's been planted, and then you can move on until you find something that either contradicts that or confirms what you already know.
Right. I totally agree. I didn't even listen to that whole stuff yesterday. I was on different panels and I heard what was going on with it, and I'm just like, you know what? I can't. It's
too much.
Just like, get a life, people. I can't with this, but don't get me wrong, I'm not putting anybody down about their opinion or anything. It was just like, I didn't want to hear it. I clicked off and did something different, so that was my thing. But I just think some millimeters, like everybody, like some of those beehive people, they will fight people about that lady and they don't even know her.
Shanita said, I'm her real friend. What you talking about, a real friend?
and the whole Shanita thing. If they saw the first part of the live, when she went live, Mel told her, okay, you can say something, don't say too much.
She did. I saw that part.
If you listen to some of these other people, it was like Mel gave her permission to talk. Now these people are saying she should shut up. And I'm like, y'all, woo, wow. I'm like, okay. But I understand it's protecting her, because we've seen her for years be.
Yes, absolutely.
So
have a hard time. Yeah.
Sure. She has such a hard time. But that's all I wanted to say.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you always.
I'm going to drop down so you can let someone else up, okay?
Okay. I appreciate you always. Thank you so much for coming up. Now we have Mocha Mima.
Hi, Diana. How are you?
Hi, honey. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for letting me up.
No problem.
First thing with Larsa and Scotty. Larsa was married to him for many years. And my thing is, it's California law. She's entitled to have. If she was Black, we'd be saying the same thing.
Okay.
So that's it with the thing with Larsa. As far as the whole thing with Mel, you got a lot of people putting 20 on 10. I am a Mel supporter. I'm a Beehive member. I think people do go too far. Like, look at what these Trump supporters have done by going too far, caping for him. Like, people need to knock it off, for real. Melody's a grown woman. She's a millionaire. She knows what she's doing. She does not need our help. She has a team of lawyers and other people. So people need to calm it down and let her live her life.
Okay.
She knows what she's doing. And people are just going too far with the attacking people and all that. And like I said, I am a Mel supporter, but people are just going entirely too far. I've seen all these lives and all this stuff. people have to say about this lady who's a prophetess. The thing about it is the lady said what she said. She gave her opinion. And it's the thing is this: take what you can and leave the rest. You don't have to believe what she says. You don't have to listen to her. You can click off and go and listen to someone else.
Okay.
But all this other stuff with people having the lives and saying this and that and the third, it's unnecessary because it just causes the bickering back and forth. And then you have the people in the comments that are contributing a lot to it, and then it gets to be too much.
Gets to be too much. And
Yep.
that's understandable. That's understandable. Okay. Do you have any comments about the other subjects we talked about today?
I love Simone.
Okay.
I had an issue and she was going to help me out with it. I had gone to a conference with my grandchildren, and a lady who lived in Texas and lived in Houston had stole my grandson's phone. And I reached out to Simone. She was going to help me try to get the phone back for my grandson.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, I'm totally, I love her. I'm on her side rather. I wish they could work things out, but, financial piece is a big part in any relationship. That's a big, big piece. So I stand by whatever she wants to do. So whatever way she goes, if they get back together, whatever it is, she's an adult. She knows what's best for her. So whatever decision she makes, I stand by her because that's her life and it's not mine.
Okay.
So that's how I look at it.
Awesome. Okay. I appreciate that. And did you have anything to say about Larsa Pippen receiving 50% of her ex-husband's
like I said
retirement?
Earlier, she was married to him.
Uh-huh.
And that's California law.
Okay.
I mean, you can't get around it. I mean, that's one of the benefits of marriage. And like I said, if she was black, would people be upset and up in
You
arms?
did say that. So let me ask you a question. If it was a man who got 50% of his wife's retirement, how would you feel?
Same thing. Were they married? I mean, that's part of marriage.
Okay.
That's when you get married. This is part of the things that happen. I don't know if they had a prenup or what their prenup things were. Like I also watched Real Housewives of Miami, but I never liked Larsa because I just thought she was a liar. And recently, her saying she never got her butt done. Like, girl, please, yes, you did.
Listen,
but
I agree with you. Larsa is not my favorite person. I don't want anybody to think I'm taking up for her. Larsa has always been she always appeared less than honest. She's not honest, period. Not even less
her
than
being
honest.
with
She's
Michael
not
Jordan's son, like, come on. But
yeah,
and her, her wanting to be still with the Kardashians after their fallout, she still wants to be with them. But I mean, that's part of the game. I mean, she was married to him. She had his 3 kids. It's what happens. I mean, down the line, if something happens with LeBron and his wife,
let's not hope for LeBron and his wife.
Yep.
Listen, I'm from Ohio, born and raised. My grandfather watched 2 sports, baseball and basketball. I could never get into baseball, I could never get into baseball, but he knew every player. He knew everything about it. Okay, that was his favorite. That was his pastime. But when LeBron came on the scene, my grandfather could rattle off anything about LeBron. That was his boy, literally. So I am a LeBron supporter solely for him. Okay. But I don't like for anybody to say anything bad about LeBron. I'm hoping that marriage keeps going. I love his wife.
Yeah.
His wife is beautiful.
Yeah,
even though she gets a lot of disrespect from people.
She does, which I don't understand why. But you know what it is? People live to disrespect people that are in the limelight because they're not in the limelight, which
they
makes
feel she gets ran over, and I don't. She speaks up for herself all the time.
Yeah.
She just doesn't make herself bigger than what this man is doing, because really we only know her through him, and I think she handles herself well. But I know you guys are going to say things about it. I just want you to know.
She's a class act. She really is a class act.
She is Ohio. That is what I think about when I think of Ohio. So she handles herself well, especially when she was on that float when they won the championship, and she told them kids to sit their ass down, and she was going to take them out of there. I was like, that's what Ohio girls do.
Well, I'm going to drop down. And once again, thank you so much.
I appreciate you. Thank you too.
Okay. You're welcome.
Okay. So then we're going to do Justice and Carolyn. And then I think we're going to wrap up after this. So, hey, Miss Justice.
Hi, sweetie. How are you?
Awesome. How are you?
I am so blessed. I'm here because I listened to the last couple of days in reference to the prophetess.
Okay.
That's what they're called. That's what a female person with a prophetic anointing is called, a prophetess.
Correct.
And I'm here because I remember all through my life, I was 9 years old and I had been diagnosed with meningitis. And the doctors told my mother, say she has 24 hours to live. You can go and prepare her grave. At that time, doctors
Listen, I'm going to stop you because I was too.
Mhm.
The same thing happened to me. I opened my eyes when everybody, including the minister, was around my bedside praying over me. That's when I woke up. I was in a coma for months.
Mhm. Well, I was surrounded by 12 doctors, and as you know, in the Bible, that's the number of judgment.
Yep.
He had 12 disciples.
Yep.
Okay, and so my mother looked at the doctor and said, she cannot die. She has to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Okay.
That was, I'm 67 now, so that was what, 50 some years ago? I'm still here. I'm still here just by the words that were spoken out of her mouth. And I say that to say this: be not surprised that you see things or you hear things or you know things, or people can interject things that they would not ordinarily know, because the Bible says, see, I'm Bible. I'm strictly Bible. I'm an ordained minister. My mama didn't even live to see me get ordained. I didn't call myself because I was having a good time out there. He called me. But what I'm saying is, don't be surprised, because God himself has said it, that we are created in his image and his likeness.
Facts.
So if we are created in his image and his likeness, what he is, we are. What he did, we do. And greater work shall we do.
Wow.
Come on here now. Follow me. I can remember at a church that I would leave the church and go feed people in the 3rd Ward area of Houston out of my own pocket. The Lord just impressed me. Feed these people. Feed my sheep is exactly what he said to me. Feed my sheep. So I would feed them with the word of God and food. I would pack, me and my kids pack bags, brown paper bags with sandwiches and fruit and a drink, and go out in the 3rd Ward area around where the guys would stand around barrels. It's cold. So they get around barrels with wood in it to keep warm and have their little drinks and so forth. And I'm talking liquor and this type of thing. Homeless people, not homeless people, but we would go. And when the Lord put that in my heart to feed my sheep, my pastor came to me and she said to me, you did not get my permission to go feed those people. You did not carry a banner representing this church. And I don't know where it came from, but I know God spoke back to her and said, this was the bloodstained banner that I carried. And seeing as how you didn't have to pay for any of this, it didn't represent your church. It represented Christ. If you remember in the Bible, he took 2 fish and a loaves of bread and fed the multitude of people. I took bags, maybe 20, 30 bags with sandwiches and drink and chips. And one door I knocked on had a woman with 6 children, and everyone received Christ as their savior.
Wow.
Because they were fed the word of God.
Wow.
My point being, don't be surprised. Don't question the gift. The Bible says all good things come from God. And since all humanity is created in his image and his likeness, then it stands to reason that all humanity have some type of gift. Now, the question is, what are you using it for?
That's true.
That's the issue right there. It's not about whether this woman was gifted. It's what was the motive of the use of a gift. And if it was a motive from God, you'll always know Because God says, I don't give you a spirit of fear, but a spirit of love, peace, and a sound mind. So if it's anything that's brought to you that makes you worry, that makes you fret, that makes you wonder, am I cursed? Did she? Oh, don't say that. No, no, no. The power of life and death is in our hands. And when we're speaking to an enemy that has the nerve to speak against a vessel of the Most High God, you have the power in your mouth to say, no, I don't receive that. No, I rebuke that in the name of Jesus.
Okay.
Because there's nothing, absolutely nothing created on this earth that can stand against that name.
Okay.
That
You're right.
name. Sometimes you don't even know what to pray. But if you can just muddle the name, demons tremble.
You're right, Justice. Listen, no arguments there. You are absolutely right. You absolutely have to know when to use your discernment. And you should be using it all the time, but
All the time. You should.
use your discernment. You have God within you, and it will tell you, he will tell you exactly what you need to do and how to do it. But sometimes we have a whole bunch of outside things that clutter what the word that's coming through us. So
yes, we have. And you know what? People say, well, God don't talk to me. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. I beg to differ, because he said in his word, I'm strictly by the book. If it ain't in the book, it don't mean nothing to me.
Right.
But the book says, I will never leave you nor forsake you.
For sure.
To forsake is to turn your back on.
For sure.
To leave is to just walk away, to dismiss, to be absent from. And he said, neither of those things will I ever. Like the woman said about Mel, don't they understand ever? Never means never. Well, don't you understand that God said, I will never, and never means never?
Yes, ma'am. Listen, you speaking a word, child.
Oh, it's in me. I can't help but speak that. It's
You
in
are
me.
ordained. Okay. Listen, Justice, I appreciate everything that you said, and you are absolutely right. And I had no idea, because you brought a memory back for me about the meningitis. And I was, how old was I? I was in the fifth grade. So I would have sixth grade.
You about 8 or 9, right? Fifth grade?
Fifth grade. So I think I was 10 or 11.
10? Okay.
Yep. And I was in the hospital for several months.
Yeah, me too.
And
me too.
I remember two incident. I remember seeing my aunts and my mama and my daddy and I remember the minister standing around my bedside. And I remember that was it. That was that was one thing that I remember coming out of that. And I'll tell you guys about it another time, what happened with the sickness. The next time I remember my eyes opening up, I was going through a machine. So they were doing a body like a CAT scan, because they didn't expect me to live. They actually told everybody to come up to say goodbye.
Exactly.
When they all came up to pray over me, and I woke up. That was the first time I had woken up. And my family they never talked to me about it. I had an aunt who passed away. She since passed away, but she was the first to tell me about it. And she said, nobody wants to talk about it because it was such a hard time. The family was really, they were grieving, and then we were told to come up and say goodbye to you, and you open your eyes. That was how was happening. So I just wanted to say that, but you brought up a memory for me.
And that's one thing that's your confirmation right there. Because the word of God is alive.
Facts.
And the word that you just spoke there on that memory is saying, greater is he that's in me than he that's in this world.
Facts.
The greater one had to wake you up, because medical science said goodbye.
And when I tell you that nobody in my family, including my mama, would talk to me about what happened, nobody. I had one auntie who shared just what I gave you guys just a few minutes ago, saying that nobody's going to talk about it because this is what happened. And she wasn't even able to come up and see me because she had lupus. So she wasn't allowed to be at the hospital. But that was what happened. But anyway, I appreciate you so much, Justice. I'm going to get to Carolyn.
Okay.
Everybody's dropping down, and I
thank you.
You're always welcome.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Miss Carolyn, I'm so happy you came back. Carolyn. Hey. Uh-oh.
Me?
Is your mic?
Hello? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm good.
Hey, everybody on the panel.
So
Hey.
this is your second time, girl. You're
Yeah,
becoming a regular.
second time, but I think the confusion comes in about the prophet
Okay.
and what's going on.
Okay.
It's an office of prophet, and then it's prophesying.
Okay.
Now, in the office of prophet, that is a gift from Jesus Christ. As he was ascended up into heaven, he gave gifts. He was dropping down gifts for the perfecting of his church. And that office starts off with the apostle. First apostle, then prophet, then evangelist, then preacher, and then teacher. Okay? So if you have the Holy Spirit, it's a gift of prophecy that any believer can get that word from. If just being a believer, the Holy Spirit will give you the gift to prophesy. It doesn't make you a prophet, but you can prophesy. You can speak a word from God because you got that gift from the Holy Spirit. It's a difference between an office of the prophet and prophesying. Anybody can do that.
Okay.
When I heard the lady speaking, I only had to hear her a minute or two, and I shut it off because I knew that the Holy Spirit that is within me was giving me an unction that was not right, that it was false. It was coming out of the mouth of a false prophet. And so it's not a judgment to me. It's what's facts and what is true. Now, a person like me who have operated in both kingdoms, it's very hard to fool me because I was a practicing witch for many years until I got free, saved, and delivered. So if you operating in the Satan's kingdom, then he will give you gifts. Satan is mighty, but he's not almighty. And when you go seek out a sorcery, a palm reader, or some kind of fortune teller, stuff like that, they can give you a whole lot of information because they're getting it from Satan, from demons that has operated in that bloodline for years and years, maybe back clean to Adam and Eve. So quite naturally, they have the information to give you. It's false, it's true information, but it's coming from a false source. So this is the problem with prophesying. Unless you're saying what thus saith the Lord and not adding all your other stuff and how you feel and what you think in it, then that's from God. But when you add in what you think about it and what this is said and what that is, that's not a true prophet of God. He didn't put that word in your mouth. You're just up here talking. And like I said,
perhaps she calls herself a prophet.
Well, she could call herself anything she wants.
I'm saying, Carolyn, perhaps she calls herself a prophet and she's not actually falling under the definition of prophet because she said that she works with a lot of clients all over the world. And I'm just saying this because I didn't use her. I never had her speak over me for anything.
Right.
I understand that right now people are feeling away because as people who've watched Melody's journey, they want the best for Melody. So because of that, when they see things that they don't believe to be the best, they will intervene and have certain conversations. But I'm saying that maybe she calls herself a prophet, but if there is a but, okay, maybe that's not the true definition for which she falls. Maybe she's more of a psychic, or I understand. Someone said in the comments that she reads tarot. So
no, ma'am, no, ma'am.
So there could be something. There could be other things. However, I want to say this because I don't know. I'm just going to tell you up front. I don't know. The people who spoke to me just spoke.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't use cards. They did. Well, I can't even say that's true, because when I told you guys that I went to Cuba and he said, you're not going to live in the house that I thought I was going to die in. He said, no, I didn't say that. You're not living in that house. And he actually had like little sticks or shells or whatever the hell he was using. When he gave them to me, told me to blow on them, and similar to what happened in RHOA, when I threw them bones out or whatever the hell they were, because I don't remember, I apologize, but it's one of those things when it happens, it shakes you a little bit because you're thinking it's not true. And then when you convince yourself that it's not true, you move on with your life. You don't think about it again until things start rolling for you. And you're like, oh man, this is exactly what he told me. But I'm saying that, and I also understand Miss Carolyn, because I don't want to offend anybody. I understand that you guys have beliefs and because of your beliefs, you also are standing true and firm to what it is that you saw when you witnessed this prophecy versus what you know to be the word. I understand that too.
Okay, now what I'm going to say, I'm not the kind of millimeter that is giving male advice, that is running in her DMs and all that kind of carrying on. I don't do any of that. But I do know you have to try the spirit and see if that spirit is of God. And the only way you can be certain is if you get filled with the Holy Spirit. Okay. Because if you not filled with the Holy Spirit, you can be tossed to and fro and running here and running there, seeking out all this stuff that you want to know that you really don't need to know. And like I said, Satan is mighty. He's just not almighty. When he took Jesus up and showed him all of the land and the different things he could give him, he wasn't lying. It was his because Adam gave him the least.
Okay.
And when Adam is down here, he was down here. The Lord had gave him all of this.
Okay.
But he turned it over to Satan. So when Satan went to Jesus and said that I could give you all of this, he wasn't lying to the Lord. He knew he could because his time is not up.
Okay.
This is his world right now. And so, of course, he gives him power. But like I said, by me being and operating in both kingdoms and not knowing, I had to really get purged of a whole lot of things to get delivered from a whole lot of things. And so when you're talking about tarot cards and all of that kind of stuff, this is witchcraft.
Okay.
This is witchcraft. And when you seeking out those things and they tell you something that comes true, or it's true, or this and the other, don't be beguiled. Okay. Because Satan knows about you too.
Okay.
And it's many demons that can tell you these different things. But by you having the Holy Spirit, when I heard the lady speaking, it grieved the Holy Spirit in me.
So I
could listen to it. So I had to shut it off. So I can't tell you much more about what the lady said. Exactly. All I know that they are getting prophecy confused with being a prophet. It's a fivefold ministry.
That's fine, Miss Carolyn, because I wasn't asking who believed her, who understood what was going on with her. What I was asking is,
okay,
do you trust Melody?
Yes.
In her relationships? That's what I wanted to know, because I know that this can go into a complete full tangent. People feel what they feel, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not telling anybody that what they believe isn't true. That's all I'm saying. We all have our different experiences. I had two that were true for me. You may have some that isn't true for you, or maybe you never even tried it. Maybe you said, you know what? I know enough about this. I was raised with this information where I'm never gonna try this.
One day I'm gonna come up on the panel and just really tell you the things that I have seen.
Okay.
Operating in the kingdom of Satan, because Satan is set up just like the kingdom of God.
Okay. Well,
And the things that I've experienced, the things that I've done as a practicing witch, the things that I've seen outside of that, and how grateful I am to be alive and to be, I have seen things that if I was to really tell you, that
Karen,
it would seem unbelievable.
this is what I want you to do. If you can email me, go ahead and email me, because my email address is in the description box. Okay. DyanaRozay777@gmail.com. I would love to hear what you have to say as a practicing witch. I'm not even joking. I would love to hear what you have to say about it. That way we can get more information, more perspective around this. I was just saying in whole, because what this really started as opposed to debating the Bible versus witch versus true prophet, is whether or not
just
Melody, exactly. If we should be allowing Melody to communicate at the very minimum. And I think her name is Tiff. She came up and said that Melody did share some things that sound like it was an agreement of, but then she deleted it. Now I never saw it, so I can't say.
I didn't either. I didn't see any kind of thing from Mel, but I have seen death in somebody's face.
Okay.
And my mother, she saw things. She had visions and dreams and stuff. All of these are gifts from the Holy Spirit.
Okay.
And so that's basically what I'm trying to say. If you feel with the Holy Spirit, you have no fear of anything. Okay. Because the Holy Spirit in you is going to witness to what that person is saying out of their mouths. And if what they're saying is not right, then you're not going to go for it. So I believe Melody has the Holy Spirit. I don't know about this lady or anything like that. Only thing I know is I couldn't hear but a few minutes of her.
Okay.
And
I
had
nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Not it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. And when we all realize that it's not for us, can we just shut it down? Can we just okay?
I think so. I think it should be shut down, and I don't know what the big hoopla is about it.
Well, I shouldn't say shut it down. Can you walk away if it's not for you? If it's not for you, like if it don't apply, let it fly. Kind of shut it down.
That's right. Shut it down.
Okay.
You shut that down because you trying to.
What you did was you said
I shut it down.
and you walked away. Correct.
And I walked away because that wasn't of God to me. I've been prophesied over. I have had the word of God in my mouth and gave out prophecy and everything. But like I said, it was not me that gave, it was the grieving of the Holy Spirit. When I heard her talk, that was it. So, I mean, I didn't have a problem walking away and I didn't think about it anymore.
That's exactly it. Okay, that's what I wanted to know. So now I want to hear from Debbie. Debbie's my last person on the panel. I had to take the other thing down. So Miss Debbie Bunton, I don't think I've talked to you before, so welcome to the panel. This your first time up?
Yes, but I'm in your Facebook group.
Okay, I think I've seen you there. So thank you and welcome to the panel. What would you like to say about any or all of the topics today?
Well, Laura was married to Scottie Pippen, and if he gave her 50%, God bless her.
Okay.
As far as that that lady prophetess, well, Simone, her and Rasheed breaking up, she's, that's her choice. God bless each one of them. May God bless them on their journey. That saying has been around for years and years and years. So the prophetess did not make that up. Okay, I don't know who ordained her a prophetess or anything like that, but what I heard from her when she was talking to that other content creator is what it was not of God.
Okay.
And I don't believe God would ordain or choose a person to do his work and that person would go and talk to a person like that.
Okay.
I just don't see that. Now, Whatever her and Melody saw something that broke off the relationship. And people do that. People can do something and it don't agree with your spirit, and you remove that person from your presence.
Man.
And what she did to that content creator, I would have. Because if she done that to her, she's done it to someone else. That's not of God. See, everybody that come around and say they are a person of God, they might not be.
Okay.
So if Melody decided to break off everything with her, I'm with Melody. Because from what I seen, I won't want her around me.
Amen.
I don't care what she say she is. I'm just being honest now. I don't care what she say she is.
And that's true. People are in your life. People are around for your lifetime or only for a season. Okay. We don't know. Melody's life is no different from our very own. You come into contact with people every day where you have to make decisions about whether they continue the journey that you have, if they continue that journey with you, or if you let them go. It's the end of the road for them. It's no different.
Right. And like I said, everybody can't go on your journey with you. You know, it's a stop sign somewhere. It's a stop sign. And sometimes you can't go on this because you got your own journey to do. You know,
everybody has their own journey. That's the thing. You got to recognize it, but every one of us have our own journey. And when you figure out what yours is, you will be a little more mindful of your own and choosing who gets to come and who gets to go.
Right. And from what she said, from her say, about the past, the present, the future. Okay, Martell hurt his leg. That was in season 1. We all know that.
Now she didn't say that.
Whatever she was saying, she wasn't telling us nothing spectacular.
Hold
you
on,
told
Debbie.
me something already happened.
Debbie, hold on. She didn't say that. I said that.
It sounds like to me, you're making it up as you go along.
Okay, I had to mute her. I'm so sorry. But she didn't say that. So I don't want to put words into people's mouth because, again, this is already sensitive. She made the comment about someone hurting their leg, a male that was going to hurt their leg, or a male hurting their leg. And she went, because she said past, present, or future, I actually gave the example of Martell, but it doesn't mean that that's who she was talking about. I want to be clear. Okay. Sorry about that, Debbie. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I hear you now. Yes, ma'am. Do you want to move forward?
Can you hear me?
I hear you fine. Do you want to move forward with the conversation? Okay. I think that her mic might not be operating correctly. Okay, y'all. So we have been on for quite a minute, almost 3, it looks like, hours. A lot of people have dropped down. They had things they had to get done. I'm so sorry that I didn't get a chance to talk to all of you for as long as you would have liked, because I'm sure that a lot of you probably have more conversation. I know that this was a touchy subject for a lot of people, probably triggering or heavy. All I was really trying to do was get an understanding of how far is too far when it comes to the millimeters. A lot of you had a lot of great perspectives, a lot of good comments. I appreciate every single one of them. We also talked about Rasheed and Simone. We know that Rasheed went live on Sunday to talk about the two of them breaking up. And I was curious what you guys thought, because Simone came on last night to let us know that she still loves Rasheed, which is expected. I mean, just because you break up with somebody doesn't mean that you don't love them anymore. It's hard to turn off feelings. You're not a light switch. But she gave a little more perspective on pretty much everything in their relationship, and saying that they broke up because Rasheed didn't have the deposit money. He didn't have his part. So after she saved up for her part, after her parents took money out of their retirement, Rasheed said, I don't have my part. Let's just elope. And even though she loved him to pieces and at one time did consider eloping, she said, that's not what you and I had planned previously. So there was a lot of good conversation about that. We talked about Tia, Mowry, and Cory Hardwick, and I have to actually do some research because people are saying to me that there's some things out there right now that is suggesting that Cory might have been emotionally checked out in this relationship because of some other things. Now, I know that there was a blogger, what's her name? Something Rose, maybe it's Sandra Rose, who came out with some information about him a couple of months back. However, I thought that was retracted. I didn't believe that it was still ongoing. And we know sometimes things can come out and it's really hard to pull them back. But I will talk about that at a later date if I find it. We'll talk about that a little more. What else did we talk about? We talked about Larsa Pippen getting half of her ex-husband's retirement fund. Scottie Pippen, who played for the Bulls, the Chicago Bulls. She is now dating Michael Jordan's son, Marcus, and she's also has half of Scottie Pippen's fortune. So that's a big deal too. Either way, you guys, I hope you enjoy the chat and the replay of this video as much as I enjoyed talking to all of you, even though we had some technical difficulties at the beginning. But you guys, I love all of you. Thank you so much for joining my channel. Always, I am so humbled by all the people who joined in from all over the United States and the world for that matter. Okay. And that's pretty much it. You guys hit the like button, subscribe, and your notification bell, and I will talk to you on the next one.